Hey, David! Whoa!
David!
Biggles! Mr. Biggles! Darren! Once again, Darren! Malcolm!
Malcolm!
Alrighty. Well, welcome back, everyone. We have some things and stuff for you. And yeah.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things. Yes, both. Both we have tonight. And
or we could have so many things.
All right. Anyway, yeah. This time around, it has been hinted at that occasionally in these evenings of mirth and laughter, we occasionally will speak over one another. So we're going to be trying something a little different this week.
Does that happen?
Yeah, indeed. I've heard. Yes.
You, sir, tell lies. I demand evidence.
It has been hinted at. Anyway,
I am shocked that happens.
It is sort of disturbing, is it not? Anyway.
Befuddling.
So
I've never heard of it because I'm always talking over people.
Yeah.
that may be why, RJ.
Are they talking over you, Si, while you make an announcement or something?
It hasn't happened to my knowledge. Anyway, what we're going to do to try and cure this issue...
Shall we make it happen now?
All right, let's make it happen now. Here's the story. As usual, when something stupid occurs, any one of the esteemed panel or me can yell drink, and we'll stop the video. And from that point, doesn't matter who called drink, we stop it. I'm just going to go down the list as it shows up in my player. And if anyone has nothing to say on a specific point, they just say pass or no comment and on to the next one. And it should go a lot more quickly and be a lot more understandable than when we all run off in high spirits and can't really restrain ourselves. And
no comment.
There you go. And of course, if
that's
anyone,
good practice there. That's good practice.
You think? And if it looks like it's bogging things down, then we'll have to go back to our usual attempt at politeness, where we will all try and not talk over each other. But let's give this new method a try and see what we get.
I do have to. It's an awesome thing the way you call it, attempt at politeness.
Well, we do. We all start out with the best intentions of not speaking over each other. But
to be honest, that's the best you're going to get.
Yeah, and just sometimes it's what it's been called by some of our younger members, next level stupid. When next level stupid makes an appearance, it's kind of hard to restrain ourselves. So, in order to, that's what we're going to try.
I think it's when I think really when we start to talk over people is usually when the booze levels start to rise in our system. That's usually when it happens.
You know, I was hesitant to mention that.
It could also be that there are a couple of people in this esteemed panel who just like to talk.
Okay,
so
me being one of them, so I can make this assessment.
Name a member of the esteemed panel who doesn't fit into that category.
We are all shy and retiring little dwarves.
Indeed.
I'm not going to accuse people. That would be below me. I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah. I feel very attacked.
Why? All right. Well, let's see what we have on the list. You know, I'll say what we have, and then I'll look at the hangout to make sure you guys haven't all bolted. Actually, looking at the list, I was considering just like bolting. I guess I can't since I'm kind of.
All right.
Anyway.
All right. Gentlemen, if I may.
Yeah.
For just a moment.
Okay.
Crypto is apparently suicidal. He has made the clear statement that he is going to enjoy this insanity sober.
Oh my! Are there?
I do not recommend it. I'm always sober for this insanity. That gives you some idea what kind of mind I've got.
I didn't realize that was an option. I thought you had to drink when someone said the word drink.
Well, generally that
I got plenty of booze for the first video because it's We're in for a long one.
All right.
It's gonna be a long night knowing what's on the agenda.
Yeah.
What do you mean? The first one is 3 minutes?
No, the first one's 13. But we
We'll
don't
never
our
We'll
time.
never make it through that in one run. That's impossible.
No. Oh, I got plenty to say on this one. Plenty.
All right.
We should have a minimum watch length.
Oh,
Gotta watch for 1 minute and then comment.
Oh, Mark is back.
Okay, that's enough to get through his intro and first stupid point.
All right.
The thing is, though, we always say that.
If we give the video a minute and then respond, that's the video equivalent of a gish gallop. That'll never work.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, Mark, you're back. Do you want to do a mic check? You're muted at the moment. I guess you dropped out and you're back. Just make sure we can hear you.
He dropped out. Now he's back. Yeah,
Yep.
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, Mark. Okay. Very good. All right.
Jacatron says we'll be done by Thursday.
All right. Very good indeed.
We'll find a way to. Hey.
Oh, Mark,
I just gotta say this real quick. If Santa can visit all the kids in one night, we can get through this stupidity in one night. That's all I'm gonna say.
Here's the thing to think about. Since I've joined movie night, I haven't slept from Friday to Saturday in a couple of weeks now. If this is going to start to affect either my sanity or my health, I'm holding you all accountable.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
You can just pass out like I do.
And Crypto apparently
Although
Ancient Aliens booze stash for the ass crack video. I should probably fix that.
Although I could throw in that maybe my sanity is already messed up so much that it would be hard to prove that had anything to do with this.
All right, so we do have a defensible position.
That's just a side note.
Okay.
Spoken like
I
a
take
true
that
fighter.
defense for me.
All right.
I take that defense for me. Therefore, I can't be held accountable.
Side strike.
Yes, sir.
Is Jaron going to be our first selection?
He is. So
I think.
try to remember what's the word? Calm.
Yes.
No,
I
I
know-
think I'll defer to Cap on this one.
I know how Jaron has an effect on you, and as he does all of us, especially with his criticism
No,
of
actually, this is-
NASA.
Sorry, this is Cap's territory.
Well, the first.
Unleash the draftsman.
Oh yeah.
Nicely put.
Because I've had to deal with. I remember having to deal with surveyors, and that was fun in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, he's dealing in because when I was doing the one building I had to do, it was, we had an issue with what one of the surveyors had written down somehow, and putting the stuff on paper, it got messed up. So I had to actually get a hold of the surveyors to find out where the mess up was, because something wasn't adding up. So I'm not a surveyor by trade, but I do understand how all this, somewhat the civil side of things work. So yeah, this
know
is
their
a
language.
fun video.
You speak it.
Yes,
Got it.
I understand it enough to talk it. Yes.
It's all right. Well, the first one we have up, lucky us, is by. Okay, let's watch the viewer count now. Jaron. Wow, it's holding. That's interesting. Anyway, and it's entitled "Holy Geodesy: A Sermon" by Jesse Kozlowski on the Curvature of the Earth. Now, we know Jesse, so this is not something we could just let slip by as some of the usual Jaron babble that we could just ignore. So anyway, on that note, shall we commence? I see no reason why not.
Make sure your booze is handy and nearby if you have any.
Indeed, it would be helpful. Here we go. Holy Geodesy, a sermon by Jesse Kozlowski on the Curvature of the Earth, presented by Jaron. And, sorry. Hey, you show up here, this is what you get. Here we go.
Astronauts to the moon.
Ignition sequence start.
Ah, crap. Drop the volume.
1.
I love the crumbling Earth like Jaron's brain.
Yeah, you know what I'd love? If you'd normalize the sound. Normalize the audio. That's what I'd love.
What you're seeing here
is
is
an idiot.
What's
Hey.
going on, everyone? It's Jaronism back with another video for you. Been a little
Hey,
while.
Jaron.
I've been moving, but it's good to be back. Seems like I'm all settled in, so let's get back to some videos. First up, some observations for you and some important realizations, all stemming from a recent video by Jesse Kozlowski. Now, Jesse is a geodetic surveyor. His website and YouTube channel are both located in the description, so you can check him out. He seems like a good guy, but he thinks that his measurements show and contribute to the overall measurement of the Earth being a sphere. However, his measurements are local, and in his video, he gives us a glimpse into the problems with Geodesy. So let's listen in and see what Jesse has to say about the Holy and Inerrant Book of Geodetic Surveying.
Just for the fun of it. Yeah,
drink.
well, I guess I'm...
Okay, we've had a call for drink. Do you remember how this works? All right.
Yep.
Tornado, what do you got?
I was going to make a comment on here. Jaron is by making a claim that anything scientists do is apparently dogmatic. And
Yeah.
on that note, I am shining the red signal because, well, it's a Jaron video. We
Well-
always shine the red signal on a Jaron video.
All right. Let's see. Are there any other anything else to add at this point? Since he hasn't really asserted anything.
No,
All
we
right.
gotta go
Moving
about
on.
another 15 seconds, I think. Then we get into where my first issue lies.
I think you
But
watch
we've
this
got
already,
a
you big
pretty
cheater.
Google Earth.
That we do.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Moving on.
He did have a
Survey.
nice graphic, though.
Here we go.
I like this stuff, so I want to go and try this out for myself, and then do the same thing here, measure latitude using the sun and Polaris, and see how close I come to what they did. You know, we've got it made today. We use GPS for everything.
Let's hear that one more time.
We've got it made today. We use GPS for everything.
Drink.
Yep.
Okay, we have a call for drink. All right,
What?
down
We
the
got-
list. Let's try it out. Tornado, what do you got? Anything or pass?
I defer to Cap.
Cap, you're up.
All right. Okay. One, he is mocking and having a fit with having more accurate instrumentation to mark in, that we use in surveying, so we can be a lot more pinpoint accurate in our surveys, so we know what we're looking at, where we're at exactly on Earth. And two, incoming, I guess I would say ad hominems of basically anything and everything you can think of that he wants to try and criticize. That's it for me.
That works. Does anyone else have a comment at this point? Hearing none, moving on. Oh, this is working out great.
Really funny. Let's just trust GPS, everyone. I mean, pay no attention to the fact that it's owned by the U.S. government,
Oh, here it
operated
goes.
by the U.S. Air Force. I mean, U.S. government, we can trust them, right? Unless you may have heard of the Gulf of Tonkin, I don't know, the use of napalm and Agent Orange, the disbursement of
Drink.
Nazis being secretly
forgot
given
about that one.
citizenship during
Up,
paper.
up, call for drink. All right. And that's what we got to go in order. Tornado, anything or pass?
I defer to Cap.
Yeah, that would be a
Okay,
pass.
my
Cap.
drink call was his mentioning Agent Orange and napalm in Vietnam. Again, we did not know all the effects and everything that napalm did and why we shouldn't use it, along with every other country in the world was using it at that point in time. Operation Paperclip, well, we all know about all of that, and he seems to point out that the U.S. government does tend to have a thing for trying to overthrow their enemies when he talks about, Iran and all that stuff. So, yeah, we kind of don't want our enemies to be around or as strong. But yeah, I'll yield on that point there. He just goes into a lot of conspiracy or tries to make things look worse than they are.
Yeah, oh, and even the things that he doesn't, I don't see how they're connected
Yeah.
to GPS. Anyway, are there?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Go ahead.
Poisoning the well. How can you trust GPS when they did all these things?
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah, the government owns the Grand Canyon. It can't be real.
Everybody knows the punishment. RJ, you spoke when it was not your turn. Everyone make indecent noises at RJ,
I'm
please.
sorry.
All right. Are there any other comments at this point? Shall I go
Yes.
down the list? Or yes, okay.
I will take Indonesian murder for 200, Alex.
All right.
More commentary.
Okay. That's Squirrel.
Penis mightier.
Yes. Okay. First off, we have all of it. We have all of this crap. Most of that shit happened way back in the day. A. B. The GPS satellites were not actually. We don't actually own all of those GPS satellites. A large number of them were put up by the Russians and the Japanese, I might add. And the GPS system was handed over to worldwide government control quite some time ago.
Yeah, and
it was
I did think of
it was created. It was the GPS was actually handed over to worldwide authority quite a long time ago.
So it's now in the hands of the.
Stop them from operating.
So it's now in the hands of the Illuminati.
By the United States. Even if we shut down the GPS system right now, everybody else could still use it because they have all the information they need. As long as the satellites are up there, GPS works.
There we
You
go.
have to replace them every so often.
And I thought of one other point as well.
Okay.
He's claiming that, like, with GPS, how can you trust it? Well, considering that's the same system that we use to do pinpoint target strikes with missiles, but not only that, it has been proven to be accurate time and time and time and time again through vehicle navigation, air traffic travel, vehicle travel, just you name it. I mean, heck, even just walking around with your phone, it shows to work. So again, it works. We know this. We can prove this. We can demonstrate it.
Indeed. All right. Any other commentary at this point, or shall we move on? Sounds like we're moving on.
Point out that,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, it is. They use them in GPS and seismology that's accurate down to a couple of millimeters.
Interesting.
And as we replace the GPS satellites, it only gets better.
Now, who?
I wish
which?
to add a comment here.
Okay, Tornado. Why don't you go ahead then?
We also use it whenever we play Pokemon Go.
Oh my lord!
Speak for yourself.
That is okay.
The
Good
best reason
point.
for GPS to exist ever.
Good point. All right. Okay. On that. Yes.
I need to go recover from that.
Okay.
Yeah, who's this we you speak of?
All right. Let us move on and see what wackiness ensues.
Just one more thing about the actual video itself is that it's just a genetic fallacy of saying that it can't be trusted because it's from them who have done other things.
Yes.
So it's to be discounted automatically.
Yes. Perhaps he should attack the technology and not list a bunch of stuff that's unrelated to it. Whether or not it doesn't even matter whether or not what he's listing is actually 100% as presented. It doesn't matter. Let's give it to all true. What does it have to do with the damn GPS system? All right. On that note,
They also I forget who it was, but yeah, someone pointed out that they probably definitely in some of these cases actually use GPS to do some of this stuff.
There we go. Okay.
Wait. I have a comment.
Please go ahead.
Hey, Sai.
Yes.
Hold your head up.
Moving on. Here we go.
The CIA and MI6 destabilization of Iran, the funding and trading of Al Qaeda, the murders in Indonesia, the '67 military coup in Greece.
Yeah, thanks,
You
Jaron.
need to hear more?
Unrelated. No, we
MK
don't.
Ultra, Project Mockingbird,
Oh,
torture and
what the
illegal
fuck?
detaining in Guantanamo Bay, NSA spying, Rockefeller Commission, 9/11 Commission, Warren Commission. I could go on and on. Or we could be smart enough.
9/11 was not an inside job, and just yeah, I'm gonna stop there. Sorry, I know we're supposed to go in order, but that's a rant for another day.
All right, yeah, well, we'll do a 9/11 video. There's a lot of foolishness going on over there too. So anyway, shall we go down the list this time, or does anyone else have any comments? Or shall we move
Just
on?
one thing,
I'll
that's the slide he has up at the moment.
Yes.
Is that yes, there's no harm in questioning the things we have always assumed to be unquestionable facts, as if assuming there are unquestionable facts to begin with. There's no harm in questioning things. The only harm is then not accepting answers.
Quite correct. And
good old Jaron doesn't ever question his facts.
Indeed, which are usually in the form of statements, and yet he claims, I'm just questioning. I'm just asking questions. That's a lie.
Drink.
Okay,
Drink.
Squirrel.
Facts.
So Squirrel has called drink, oddly enough. Squirrel, what do you got?
No, I'm actually going to call drink on Jaron overall.
Okay.
Because he's talking about having an open mind, but his is one of the most closed I've ever witnessed.
Indeed.
Much to my dismay. He wants us to look at all of this, especially that huge genetic fallacy he just sent up, as well as an ad hom versus the United States, which has fed and sheltered him all of this time.
Mm-hmm.
I might add.
Yeah, quite true.
Yeah, just a little side note there. But
good enough.
He wants us to realize, and if he wants us to, hey, I'm not quite done here.
Hey,
he wants us to accept what he's saying at face value, and then when we try and question him, he starts screaming about whatever.
Yes, that's quite true. All right, RJ, did you have something to add?
Yeah, he's got to question GPS, otherwise he's screwed.
I just saw a comment that Beach made. Says, anyone ever see the idea that 9/11 happened using cold fusion?
Seen it.
I really, I don't want to say this, but how can nobody can be that dumb? But every time I seem to say it, there's
something else happens.
Wrong. It's disappointed. I'm proven wrong.
What do you think they use the cold moonlight for?
Oh, there you go.
That's makes my brain hurt.
Okay.
Conspiracy confirmed.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Jornito.
Moonlight can't melt steel beams.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
But spotted them real good.
All righty.
Yeah.
And wasn't there something recently out that somebody was making a big fuss about that in the past about proof of the whole and we said we were going to go into the 9/11 thing. Here I go going into the 9/11 thing. Remember the cut beam that was cut on it looked like it was cut on a sharp angle. So everyone had there were all the conspiracy wackos. Oh, look at that thermite. Look, it's a clean cut. And then recently there was a video out about that took from news releases about that cut thing. The actual pictures of that being taken months after, as the beam was being cut by folks getting the rubble the hell out of the thing.
Yeah, I was going to say if it was at like a sharper angle, I could probably explain that. Having to have done steel for my drafting degree, one of the things that you have to work with is one angled iron, but two cross beams, support beams, brace beams. I mean, it could have been a number of those.
Yeah, well, and in this specific one, it was because it was one that was really one of the focused on points. Look, it's not twisted. It's not anything. Yeah. It's a nice clean cut on an angle. That couldn't have happened. And then
yes, of course, cut beams apart to load them on trucks.
Yeah,
exactly. I can easily. Yeah, the whole building collapsing. I love when people bring that up. I'm like, you do realize how much steel weighs, let alone steel needed to support that type of building. That's going to be probably a 100, 200 pounds per foot of steel beam.
Yeah.
Yes, jet fuel doesn't melt steel, but guess what? It can burn hot enough to weaken it to where it will just collapse in on itself.
Yeah,
it did.
The melt point. They're thinking like
in building 7, that was a untouched burn, a full burn for however many hours it was from the fire from the 2 towers, because obviously all the firefighters' efforts were focused on the 2 towers and they weren't focusing on building 7. And again, the same thing happens.
And everybody
on itself.
Everybody watching, this is us.
Weakening.
This is us not talking about 9/11.
I'm sorry.
Boy, we suck at it.
To be fair, Jaron brought it up.
Yes, it did.
That's a rant.
On that one.
It is.
I'll leave that for another day.
It is really.
Let's move
Paul's
on.
here. Paul,
Hey, I gotta comment.
Just one more thing.
Oh,
Just one more thing is that
Go
cold
ahead, Hill.
fusion can't melt steel beams.
Okay, there you go. Good point. All right.
Also melted optional.
At this point, let us.
I have one more comment.
Okay, go ahead.
On Building 7.
Okay.
We also the video clip that usually gets shown is foreshortened at the front end and only looks at the front of Building 7, the side that faced away from the towers. If you went around the back that day, and there's footage of that too, that building was tore up and on fire.
And
the backside of that building was shredded.
An 18-story tall, 40-foot wide gas on the side doesn't hurt anything, does it?
No, not at all.
Yeah, and that's
Just ask
and that's
Andy.
why it
On fire
collapses the. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just ask Andy. On fire isn't a good thing.
No, it's
No,
to be avoided.
And like I said, because of the uncontrolled burn, the steel weakened, and the same effect happened where it just the weight of the steel collapsed in on itself. Because it was fighting that fire because all the attention was focused on the towers, which was the bigger fire.
Andy.
And they only had so many resources they could use.
Absolutely.
But yeah, let's move on.
On that note, here we go.
To question a tool being offered for free by our good friends at the United States government.
Yeah, we're
in my past, before.
Hold on. Okay, Tornado, you call. Let's go down the list. Tornado, you're up. We made the full 3 seconds. What do you got?
Yes, you're called stupid because you decide to question a tool. It's like you say you say that you're stupid because you decide to question a tool. Well, we're questioning a tool right now, and it's certainly not the GPS.
He beat me to it. I was thinking that when he said questioning a tool, the first thought in my head was, we're watching a video from a tool. Nice one, Tornado. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And anyone else wish to add anything at this point?
Squirrel.
Oh, Squirrel, go ahead.
All right. Okay, first off, the GPS system was not originally provided free. It was for military purposes. And then it was, and at this point, it's been almost completely demilitarized. We use it the same as everybody else does. So guess what? It wasn't a tool that was actually provided for free by the nature of the beast. It was everybody else got the technology was shared so that it could be used by everybody else. The military even scaled back they even took out the part of the software that made it somewhat more inaccurate for non-military purposes.
And just as a little point of order, does anyone remember what president ordered that? Anybody? Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton Bill Clinton issued that order. Okay.
You're sure about that?
No, I'm actually I heard that
Pretty
somewhere.
sure
heard that somewhere in a conversation. Not entirely sure that's true.
We will let the Twitter sphere
actually, I
determine
will
the
tell
data.
you now. It was the GPS, the removal of the GPS thing happened in 2002. It was done by George II.
Okay, there we go. All right. I knew. You know what? I knew it was one of those. I knew it was one of those president guys.
Yeah, it was a toss up between Bill Clinton, George Bush, and Warren Harding.
With those southern accents, who could tell the difference?
So you're telling me that was not the one thing that Taft did right?
From Independence Day.
Nope, it was done in 2002, and and the order was sent down in mid 2001 by George II.
Okay then. All righty. Very nice. See that?
Okay, we are about to resume the world of stupid.
That we are. Here we go.
GPS, before GPS came along, I observed for azimuth quite a bit with my theodolite of the Sun and Polaris. But and I tried observing for latitude a couple times just for fun. But I'm really into it now, so I'm going to do it. I'm not doing anything different in this test than you would do for any type of survey work involving three-dimensional measurements of points, the relationship between 2 points. I'll cut right to the chase. The sketch that was very small previously is now something you can possibly take a look at. And it's a simple test. I set 2 points level with each other using the water surface as the level. And so that the height of the instrument is the same height above the water as the target that I'm pointing on. And the purpose of this sketch is to get across this relationship that the horizontal plane is perpendicular to the direction of the vertical plumb line. Okay, and so I took pictures with my telescope set horizontally, and you can see that the target is below that line. Of course, this is very exaggerated. Look at one of those pictures. It looks like this. Okay, and I've got it, looking at it from the other direction as well. Same thing. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you that if the Earth were flat, then the vertical plumb line would be parallel everywhere. There would be this inclination would not exist. It would be parallel, and the sum of the zenith angles would be 90, no matter what.
Go. All right.
We have a drink call. All right, let us start down.
Didn't have one until Jaron started talking, but okay.
All right, interesting. I've never heard anyone call drink on Jesse. This should be interesting. Squirrel.
It's actually the text on the screen. It's actually Jaron putting up a thing here.
Oh
the
no!
vertical plumb line is parallel everywhere. You are seeing things that shrink with distance, except that he's really not.
Oh, good point.
He's talking about perspective. No, that's not the way this thing. That's not the way this thing works. And two parallel lines will never intersect. Now, that being said, the gravity goes towards the Earth's center. So no, the plumb lines were never parallel to begin with.
Indeed.
Also, squirrel.
And I got one to add on to that on something here, and where he's talking about, he's going to try and argue that, well, we get smaller as you go away, which is absolutely, he doesn't understand if they were parallel, the plumb lines were, which they aren't. But if they were, he has no understanding of base geometry and how a quadrilateral would even work in that aspect.
This was a given.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go to. Like I said, this is one of the few topics I actually feel knowledgeable on that we're talking on today. So, this is my realm of knowledge here.
All right.
And so, not only that, he's gonna try and argue that, oh well, because it gets smaller, you're gonna see lower. Well, just because I go further away doesn't make me any smaller. I'm still gonna be 5'11", whether I'm walking away or standing. If I'm 100 feet away from you, or standing right next to you, I'm still 5'11". The thing is, what he doesn't understand is that to even be more precise in our measurements, we don't do it so much by eye, such as Jesse's doing here. We have these really, really cool, fancy things. Maybe he's heard of them, lasers, where we can get pinpoint.
Don't say no. Don't say lasers to Jaron.
Well, with that, we can set it up at a certain height, direct it directly out, and guess what? When it's perfectly level, it's going to hit higher on the stick than where it is on. It's going to hit above it than to where it is, even though the stick's the same height. Why would that happen? Unless if there's, I don't know, a curve?
Ooh, I know. Jesus.
Okay. So, yeah, it's. Oh, this guy is just.
All right.
Yeah, it's.
Sight.
Yes, sir.
I wish you had a comment.
Okay. Well.
So, Squirrel, I believe I believe what you're looking for is gravity. Yay!
Maybe. All right. Shall we? Are there any other comments at this point? Anybody?
I have a comment.
Okay. Anybody except Hill? No, Hill.
I'll just go. I'll just go defenestrate myself then.
No, there should be none of that. Please,
Handy?
please go ahead with your comment, Hill.
I mean, Jaronism is technically correct in the second part. If his sentence there is that you are seeing things shrink with distance. I mean, obviously things do shrink with distance, but in the sense that he's doing with these kinds of angle measurements, if something is at your eye level, basically is measuring at a horizontal, no matter on a flat Earth, no matter at what distance, it will always be on that horizontal. I mean, yes, it will shrink with distance, but that shrinking with distance is also going to be the base of the object is going to be moving further up towards the horizon line, towards your horizontal. So that it's going to shrink in a sense that it's always the point where you initially put it, so that it's at the horizon, at your horizontal. It's that same place is always going to be at that horizontal.
Yes.
The distance.
It's just simple. It's just simple. That's perspective, and flat earthers always abuse that.
Indeed.
That horizontal line that's leaving the observer and going off in the distance in between that horizontal line and the ground is also shrinking. That's how perspective works. So it's going to end up at the same exact height if it's horizontal.
Yeah,
you're just failing.
It's amazing what flat earthers could do if they just took the time to draw it.
Yeah. But you're actually expecting them to use brain power. I mean, they barely have enough to keep themselves functioning.
I expect them to be able to use crayons.
But Jaron is not going to make it as a Renaissance artist.
Probably not.
Have you seen Stinky Cash and P Brain's description of perspective? They get it all wrong.
I don't want to.
Hill, I do have a question for you. Do you expect them to use the crowns or eat them?
I mean, well, it.
Sorry.
Either one, really.
Eat them and then draw with the colored poop.
All right. On that note, maybe we should.
Isn't this supposed to be a science channel?
Isn't this supposed to be?
We're getting very mean right now. Sometimes it takes them like a little bit longer to bring your dish over at Chili's, and all you have sitting at the table is sweet and lower crayons. You go with the crayon.
There you go.
Okay, I'm just saying you don't have to be attacking people.
All right. On that note, I will hold my head up. Moving on. Here we go.
What Jesse is showing here is that when you look into the distance, items reduce in size. That's it. Of course, the sum of the zenith angles will always be greater than 180 in all directions, and this is because items do not get larger with distance, they get smaller. And hence, your angles larger than 100.
Okay, we have a drink call, and we will enact our new policy and go down the list. Tornado, anything or pass?
I'm going to pass.
Okay, Brony.
Okay, he is right. The sum of the zenith angles will always be greater than 180, but it's not for what he's going to say with perspective. It is due to the fact that because of the curve of the Earth, the part you're trying to look at is now lower to where you are, not that it's smaller. And again, we can do this with, as I said, lasers. We can get that pinpoint, and if the Earth was flat, it would hit right where it's at, not above it.
Well, he's already proven he can't use lasers.
Yes, we've seen that. He can play Star Wars with them. That's about it.
I must have missed that, so yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure he's going to be doing more. He's very fond of the whole laser thing.
Oh.
All right. Let us see. Squirrel, anything to add or pass? Tick, tick, tick. Pass! RJ, anything to add?
Oh, God.
Yeah, well, I was the one that called it on here.
Yes.
It's that angle matter that the guy directly mentioned in the video. It's not that things get bigger or smaller. Duh, they get smaller the farther you are away from them. But that the angle that it makes is changing from one point to another, and that's only because the Earth is curved. And you'll notice how he just avoids that issue. So it says, oh, I'm going to talk about something completely different than what the person was talking about, and hope that if I dither on with quotation marks and put stuff up on the screen enough that you won't remember what the hell he said.
Excellent, excellent. And Oh, here's something. Maybe if someone doesn't have a comment for next go round, I mean, we'll continue this time, but for next go round, if someone does not have a comment on a drink call, if you're muted, we'll skip over you. Just to speed things up. All right, we had Cap back up the list to you. You have something to add?
Yeah, it was mostly something in the comments that Paul Gia said. He says, this isn't the Star Wars universe. Text isn't floating around.
Indeed.
So, yeah.
And, man, it's not scrolling.
Alrighty. Let's see. Does anyone else have any comments up to this point?
I do.
Oh, please go ahead.
This is more directed at Jaronism and about his thing, not just the zenith angles in general, but his just perspective ideas more in general. Is that prove it? I mean, we all acknowledge the very obvious fact that perspective exists, and we agree on several of its properties. Some of the more basic ones that like stuff appears to shrink as it moves further away, and vice versa. But prove through modeling or through a diagram or through literally anything that what you're saying is accurate. Prove it. Prove that just because something is moving away from you on a flat Earth, that using just perspective, it will not just shrink in size, but will do this weird thing where it dips down and will go below your established line of sight.
It would be interesting to see that. Although, that falls under the heading of evidence, and we have been provided with surprisingly little evidence from that camp.
Yeah.
Okay, drink.
Okay, Hill. Again.
Surprisingly little?
Yeah.
It's the exact amount it's always been. It's the expected amount of little.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Unsurprisingly little. How's that? Is that more accurate?
Yes.
I think little is too much.
Okay. Well, so I was supposed to say surprisingly none, or it's, you know what?
Is there a word
yes,
that is
that would apply?
Okay.
A word that's very so close to zero, but is not quite zero?
I'm sure there's a word for that.
Let's just go with zero. It can round to zero.
The use of imaginary
It's called
numbers
DT.
in this area.
It's called DT or DX. You can use either one of those.
All right.
Well,
this is so educational. I love this show.
I want to get fancy.
All right. And let us see what silliness awaits. Here we go.
180 degrees and will every time in every direction. Then he says if the Earth were flat, that the vertical plumb lines would be parallel. And guess what? They are parallel. What you're doing is you're taking an observer's line of sight and looking off in the distance, in which case the sight line will always miss the target high. Not because of curvature.
Okay, we have a call there. All right, once again.
Can I say the full line because Desert File gave us the okay?
I don't. Why not? Okay, enjoy yourself. Enjoy
Gravity,
yourself.
you fucking fart. Gravity.
All right, good enough. Cap, next, you're up.
Yeah, I was just going to say, asked and answered. We already covered this when we established he doesn't understand the first thing about geometry and quadrilaterals.
And there we go. And
wait, hold on. That's too deep. He doesn't understand parallel lines.
Okay.
And for the perspective, it would make a quadrilateral. So yeah.
Yeah, still try to
stands.
If you're expecting him to watch this and learn from your statements, try to keep the syllable level to a minimum. Anyway, let's see. Squirrel is muted. I have no. RJ, do you have anything to add at this point? Or pass?
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm just like seeing the pretty, not because of curvature, but because of red line lighthouse.
It makes sense to me. All right. And anybody else comment or move on?
Just the lovely thing that Jaronism said. Yes, of course the lines are parallel, but they're not parallel because they're not parallel. Because of course when you look along it stops being parallel.
And perspective, buoyancy, and density, etc. Right, got it.
Etc. Etc.
He's gonna make the perspective argument. So.
All right. I can't wait. Here we go.
But because you're measuring perspective.
Very dramatic
but
tunes.
That's not what we find. We find that the sum of the zenith angles is always greater than 180 degrees in all directions.
All right, this is not fair. I have to jack up the volume anytime there's something truthful being said, and then when it goes back to Jaron, I have to drop it down again?
Yeah, sorry. Jaronism doesn't know how to equalize his audio either.
All right, well, here we go. Okay, we had a little bit of reality there. I got a feeling it's going to break bad right about now.
That is what we
don't worry,
expect.
it's
The
fleeting.
sum of the zenith angles should be greater than 180 degrees in all directions because things get smaller in the distance.
What makes me think he was
And
looking
again,
downward? Okay, go ahead.
Again, we've already covered this. They don't, and we can actually have more precise measurements to prove that they are actually going lower, not getting smaller, because, well, we have horizontal flat lasers that we use in surveying equipment.
Frickin' lasers. Yep. Indeed we do.
How do they work?
I'm still working on how
That's the
magnets
shark.
work. Is that they probably know. All right. Any other comments at this point? Tick, tick,
Masons.
tick. Here, there we go. And you get any other comments? You get 3 ticks. Tick, tick, tick. Hearing none. Moving on.
Now let's listen as Jesse makes some important concessions about geodesy.
Oh, admissions! Admissions coming!
And I'll make the point here also that what I'm showing you here is not normal survey work. We don't go around measuring the curvature of the Earth. They already did that. It's in the book that I keep talking about. The history, of the determination of the figure of the Earth through arc measurements. That's already been done for many centuries. We don't go around measuring the curvature of the Earth. They already did that.
Okay, we have a call for drink.
Yes.
Yeah, you.
Get on the list. Sorry.
All right, Tornado, anything to add or pass?
Pass.
Passed. Cap, you're up.
All right. Quote mining, and again, I didn't realize really how much you could quote mine someone playing their full sentence, and the guy's right. He's trying to make it sound bad that we don't do the survey of the curvature. Well, because we know it. We don't need to do it. So he's right. That isn't normal survey work. And he explains it here in a minute when he talks about, hey, we just go in, survey what we need for the highway or the railroad, and then he'll give it back to whoever my boss would be, or someone like me who'd be a civil engineer or a drafter in the civil field, and then we draw it up.
There you
That's
go.
all we do.
Sounds good. All right, and we have 2 muteds. We'll pass right on back. Tao, anything to add or pass?
I'll pass.
Sounds like a pass. Eat. Oh, Eat's muted. Gotta go for it, my friend. Anything to add or pass?
Pass.
Pass. Very good. Hill.
Well, just that it is a very obvious quote mine, and it's very easy to tell because if a person says something and then through a quote immediately says something that's completely contradictory, something's definitely up. But even through the quote mine, he's still correct. I didn't see who it was, but it was right that you don't need to go and measure the Earth every single time you go out to make any kind of geodetic survey. I mean, it's a matter of you don't have to go and determine the exact digit of pi every time you want to calculate the circumference of a circle with a known radius. It's a matter of working on past knowledge and using what you need to, and not needing to reinvent the wheel every single time you need to go out and find, how far away something is or whatever.
Indeed. Well said. All right, and skipping Mark. Mark's muted. Soundly, do you have anything to add at this point?
Pass.
Pass, okay. And, okay, Byzantine says, this stream so far is far too efficient. Perhaps our new methods are too effective. All right, we'll do some babbling over each other later, just so that people get the old feel again. All right, let's move on with the foolishness. Here we go.
It's in the book that I keep talking about. So we don't do that all the time anymore, but we can. I mean, I'm showing it to you right here. But, when we do our survey work, we're basically going out to accomplish some task. It could be staking out a long new highway project or railway project. We're doing survey work, and we just get down to business and do that work. But I can tell you this, that if you take the raw measurements of any surveyor that is performing that work and do this analysis, you'll find out that the sum of the zenith angles between the 2 points is going to be greater than 180 degrees.
Drink.
Okay. All right. Down the list. Tornado. Anything or pass?
Actually, I'd like to say, Sai, you're going to soon find it. You're going to find it hard to believe, but somehow, and I don't know how the hell he managed to pull it off, Jaronism is going to strawman the hell out of math.
Okay, sounds like, I think you're a big cheater. I think you watched this already. All right, well, we'll wait and see. That's cool. Captain, you got anything?
Yeah, I actually had a drink call. One, it was the first part, which he said, which he's not measuring curvature, he's measuring because things don't get, because they get smaller. Again, I would love to see the incredible shrinking building in people. I mean, that, I'm still waiting to see that one from him.
And
but
sinking.
two, he's going to say, he's saying Jesse is not measuring curvature at all. He is measuring perspective. Again, no, not even close. We would not have greater than 180 degree angles if the Earth was flat, because we can pinpoint precise measure these things. And none of the flat Earth equations add up at all. The only thing that makes sense is the curvature of the globe.
I would tend to agree. All right.
Calculus, physics, all kinds of fun stuff we have to deal with.
Indeed, and even
But Cap, you're forgetting. Math doesn't describe reality.
That's true.
Okay,
that's one of
I have a
according to
question.
Jaron.
If math doesn't describe reality, can I take my can I go take my textbooks up, figure out the force that it will hit them on the head with, and see how well that describes the reality that will happen?
Yeah. Blue, nice point. What flat Earth equations?
You get charged with assault and battery.
Yeah, that's why I won't do it.
All right. Down the list. Tau, anything to add or pass?
Pass.
Pass? Eat. What do you got? Or pass?
Well, not to disagree with Cap here, but I think that the evidence that Jaronism is putting forth pretty sufficiently proves that the Earth is flat. So I'm...
You're convinced?
Yeah, I mean, I'm convinced through this weird PowerPoint presentation and playing somebody else's arguments without rebutting him. I mean, this is a really weird debate style I've never seen before. So I need to I need to go throw all my globes out of my apartment.
All right, I see what you mean.
A whole bunch of UN flags.
All 33 of them.
All 30.
One for each level of Mason that you reached.
Of course. Understandable. And I was sort of wondering that he's letting Jesse talk a little more than he should have, because after those startling admissions that he claimed Jesse was going to make, there was explanation for why he was saying that.
It gets better. It gets better. It gets better.
I think we have another cheater.
I mean, drink more booze. Make sure you have something to fill the mug of truth with, because it gets worse.
Oh, I think we have another. I think we have another cheater who's already watched this fun. All right, down the list.
Who posted it, and I was just curious about it.
Down the list. Here we go. Gotta go for it. Anything to add or pass?
Well, this time I want to add something.
Okay.
Because, I think I have to agree with Neil on this one, because you have to take into consideration this guy has the Bible to back him up. So
good point.
That leave us? I mean, we can't counter that.
That is a good point. I didn't even think of that. All right.
Yeah. See, the truth is spreading.
The truth
will outnumber you, Sai.
Oh, that's frightening.
You already do.
You'll never. Here. You'll never take me
like one of
alive,
them.
you flat earthers.
I like the pun. I like the pun though. The truth is flooding. We're gonna need an ark.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We've come full circle.
We got.
I know a guy that has one.
We already have Paul G in the chat. We don't need him to come on here and bring Kid Ham with him.
No, it's fine. I know a state that will give us government grants to build an ark. It'll be fine.
We don't need to. We can just take
We're
theirs.
good.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Where's that coveting?
No,
we go.
Thou shalt
We're
not.
gonna need a bigger arc.
We're gonna need a bigger arc. That's good. Always, anytime a Jaws reference that we throw in, I'm good.
I know the Bible says thou shalt not steal, but can you show me where the Bible says thou shalt not take thy neighbor's ark?
It does. You know, that is true. It really doesn't say that, I guess. But all right.
I don't think it bans that.
Anyway, all right.
Yeah,
Back,
we're reading the Bible literally.
Indeed. Yeah. Back at oddly enough, Hill. Anything to add or pass?
Well, just that you actually partially said it was that, you know, Jaronism forgot to quote mine out the second half of that stunning admission where yes. Jesse clarified what he meant by they don't go out measuring the curve of the earth.
Yeah.
And also there's the fact that Jaronism is on one hand saying that, oh, they don't measure the curve of the earth, therefore it's flat. But he's also saying that because of perspective, it actually is making the effect the Earth looks curved. So he wants to have his parallel lines and eat them too. He needs to make up his mind whether the Earth actually appears flat, as the stunning admission at the beginning would seem to indicate, or whether it actually appears curved. Even though that's just, of course, that's just the perspective taking its incredibly random. Doing its random whatever it does whenever they need it to.
Understandable.
I have one comment, and it's actually Crypto's comment in the chat. He gave us a very, very scientific, accurate description of Jaron and how to actually figure out his intelligence. Flat Earth plus living in the woods times the amount of years without female contact divided by Alex Jones bathing and plus finding a woman equals Jaron.
That is a disturbing
very scientific there.
I'd prefer to remove
truly,
that from memory.
Really disturbing mental image.
I agree.
That's why I read it.
All right. And let's see. Okay, let's see. Who do we got? Mark is muted. Soundly, do you have anything to add to the foolishness?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Moving on. Here we go.
Translates into a direct measurement of
perspective. Let's take a look at the raw measurements of Mr. Kozlowski and see if we can find anything interesting. Jesse shows that he measured an 8-inch drop
to it after he gets through going over his mathematical equations to explain why it is so bad.
So we're letting it go now?
Math. Jaronism, don't do math. Please don't do math.
He's going to math at you, folks.
This is the same. You can't say math doesn't represent reality or math can't be used and then use math when you want to.
Yeah, and I'm going.
He is likely to say something like, "And we know that 2 + 3 = 4."
And I'll say this though: when he does his math, I'm in a very generous mood today, so I'm going to give him every benefit of the doubt I can, and he will still fail.
All right.
Spoilers.
All right.
No, not really. Still.
Let's
yeah.
Let's see what happens.
We all know he was going to fail when he did this.
Hello.
It's implicit.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say something.
Please do.
If Jaron didn't do math, then why is he spewing all this bullshit?
That's his job.
No, think about it. If he didn't do math, I'm making a joke here.
Oh, yeah. It was one of those one-letter change puns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, I didn't catch it at first until he clarified. It's like, okay, yeah.
All right.
Still, like I said, still that's his job.
Got it.
Yeah.
I feel like the answer still applies.
All right. On that note, moving on. Here we go.
For 7,300 feet. So if he walked to his next target and again measured 7,300 feet, he'd again measure about 8 inches. And if he went from San Francisco to San Diego...
Yeah, this is where I am going to kind of step in.
Gotcha.
But Tornado had one, so go ahead.
Well, he's first on the list anyway. Tornado, you got anything to add?
So, Jaron would walk 500 miles, and he would walk 500
All
miles.
right.
Just to be that man that walked 500 miles to stand there at you.
Okay.
Very nice. Very nicely done. All right.
Now,
there goes that stunning efficiency.
I think the lyrics were supposed to be to show up at Flat Earth Core or something like that.
That fits. That's beautiful. All right. Cap, you got something to add at this point?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, if you could just play it up to where he gets to where he points out his calculations, and then, well, first off, as you can see, he's going 7,800 miles. You got an 8-inch drop. 700 miles, 8-inch drop. Now that would be accurate for each section, but as you move on, it's obviously going to get greater. But let's just play it a little more, and then when you get to, I think it's the next slide where he has some writing, I'll then have a little more to say on it.
Okay, what now? I have not seen this. I did not watch this ahead of time. You know how I like being surprised by the stupid.
Yes.
I wonder if I'm correct in thinking that he's going to ignore the fact that what would be a
8 inches
a tangent,
per mile squared.
What would be
trying to just add 8 plus 8 plus 8.
Oh
You are
no!
right.
He's going to completely ignore the fact that each time you move along the surface of the sphere,
Yes.
your tangent plane changes.
It's a new step.
Yeah, I am trying, and when we get to that, I will try to be as generous as possible.
All right.
And I will still point out where it fails.
All right, so he's going to try
Go
and
ahead.
bludgeon a nonlinear equation into a linear function. Okay, let's see how he does it.
Yeah.
He's
Flat
straw
Earthers
man's
hate
math.
anything nonlinear.
Straw man's math.
Got it. Okay, that sounds good to me. Here we go.
Measuring section by section of 7,300 feet, he'd cover 2.6 million feet, measuring 8 inches per. So 361 sections of 8 inches each is 2,893 inches.
Okay,
Right here.
so this is the point. Okay,
Drake, this is where I got to step in.
please do, Cap.
Now you look at what he's doing there. From San Francisco to San Diego is 500 miles. I have no clue on that. I'm just going to give it to him.
Okay.
Sounds about accurate enough. He's going to claim that we need like 35 point some odd miles of drop. Yeah, if you look at it, he doesn't understand. And I'm just going to be nice and grant them the 8 miles, 8 inches per mile squared.
Mm-hmm.
Again, 7,800 feet, that's roughly about a mile and a half. We'll just call it a mile, close enough for government work. And you look at that at 241 feet. Yes, that would be accurate if you did it as 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. But you have to remember, you go 8, 16, 32, or 128, 256, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Now, Jaron, I know you know that equation. I've seen you point to the quote-unquote CAD chart of that. So I know you know this, and I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. It is a perfectly round ball, not an oblate spheroid, and perfectly smooth, which, again, it is not. I'm giving you every benefit of the doubt that I can. And you still fail. Where's the other 35 whatever miles or whatever you claim it needs to be? It's there. You just don't. You're just literally straw manning math here. I did not know you could make a straw man out of math.
Apparently you can.
Well,
so yeah.
Apparently you've
part of
never
the
seen
fail.
Awake Souls.
What? Soundly, didn't catch that. What'd you say?
I said, apparently you guys haven't seen Awake Souls then. he straw man's the hell out of it.
well,
the problem with
like Wizard of Oz shit.
Yeah.
The problem with Jaronism's calculation is that it's conflating two different, as you said, nonlinear things. It's conflating individual steps where each time you set up a new horizon line and then measure the drop from there. So, and then you go to that location and do that process again. You take a new horizon line, do a new drop, new horizon line, new drop. And then there's the other section where you just take the final distance altogether, where you're setting up the original first and only one horizon line, and then finding the drop from a certain distance. You're using different things trying to make them do the same thing, and that they don't work like that.
Yeah, and
exactly, and that
it does seem to be the case. You know, I probably shouldn't be too proud of myself for not watching it and predicting that he was going to not account for the new tangential plane at each mile, because I mean, how could we not expect him to do that? All right.
I mean, it is Jared, but yeah, I was gonna say exactly. That's exactly what he did, and why
it's the same
fails. Horribly.
It's the same as in an equation where you have a percentage increase of, let's say, 1% each time, and you do that 8 times. And there's the difference between that and having the equation and just doing it to an 8% increase.
And saying it's 8.
It's not the same. It's not the same function.
And the sad thing is, I gave him every benefit of the doubt I could in his argument, and it still failed. I mean, I was giving him every opportunity and just leniency I could. And he just needs to go. I mean, he needs to go back to freshman year of high school and take basic geometry.
Okay.
Maybe a few earth
You need to go back
sciences.
to Algebra 1 to learn what an exponential function is.
Might be handy.
That too. I mean,
I was thinking kindergarten because he's still stuck on parallel lines.
Oh, he's got one of his 3-minute videos on that just goes off the rails, and I'm not using the term off the. You'll see. Anyway, any other
Rails are always parallel.
Yeah,
but yeah,
there's just some foolishness in there where he skips one step wherein he debunk himself, and we'll be more than happy to add that one step for him because we're good guys like that. All right,
we're nice.
I'm just waiting for curvilinear perspective.
It already happened.
To add a comment.
Oh, all right. Tornado has something to add. Please do.
At least he didn't fail as bad as Dubé when Dubé said 8 inches per mile times the square of the distance.
Well,
that doesn't even mean anything.
Yeah, that doesn't. That's like what the. What the hell?
Dubé's not good.
I would pay good money to watch someone to prove that.
Yeah, Dubé, it's not really his fault. His only real skill is in reading in a very monotone fashion out of ancient tomes. That's his skill.
Yeah.
Whenever he tries to put forth some thinking of his
kind
own,
of like this.
I lose it. It's like not. I can't follow.
Well, Sai, tome is where the heart is.
Yeah. All right. What happened last time we did this? We started a pun war.
I have a question. I have a question, Sai.
Yeah,
I
Cap,
really got to ask this now.
What do you got?
Does Dubé subscribe to the Tale of Zoda's tome?
Go tome, Dubé. You're drunk.
Oh my.
And we just keep scrolling along,
and the punning has commenced.
Hey, Sai, in our defense, this is a lot more educational than the crap we're getting from Jaron. Okay?
That is true, and I've never intentionally put a stop to a pun war. Yes,
I think it's tome to move on.
Yes, I believe. And you know what, Tornado, you're going to get a lot of latitude.
Of course, all know that Dubé's favorite television show is Under the Tome.
All right. On that note, let us.
That was a good one.
I guess I think the climax of these jokes is really it's come and gone.
Yeah, all right. Now, why don't we let's move on, shall we? I mean, enough of this. Yeah. If we keep this up for too long, we're going to run out of tome. Here we go.
I have a comment.
Oh, who's that? Who has going to go for it? Is that you?
Yeah, me.
Please do.
The tome is set to continue, I think.
Okay.
I think Eric Dubé's favorite show is Fantasy Island. Look, the plane.
All right.
Hey, Al, is it the plane or the tome?
All right. Moving on. Here we go.
Or 241 feet.
Hold on.
But Sam
I'd like to read one of the comments in the chat.
Please do.
Rangerman 9404 says, "Be it ever so humble, there's no place like Tome."
And Baryon. Is this the game of tomes?
This is the game of tomes.
And Paulagia, as usual, insightfully makes the comments a tome waster. All right, nice.
Well, hold on, I take offense to that because my time here is virtually worthless, and all you're really doing is preventing me from watching the rest of this video.
So I believe it is time to parsley on.
Okay, here we go. Moving on.
What did you just say?
Time to parsley on.
He said Sai hit play.
Actually,
that's what he said.
When he plants parsley, he plants it in good old Tome.
God
His favorite kind of soil.
Yeah, Harry M just said put the tome into the tomb. I have a question. Is that so that if someone stole that, would that make them a tome raider or a tomb raider?
Rayrard beat you to it. Rayrard beat you to it.
Oh, I did not see that. Oh, sorry, Rayrard,
tome. Oh my!
I
It's getting better.
Words indeed.
It's getting better. Ptomaine poisoning. And NA wants us. NA wants us to tome.
You know what they say?
What?
When in tome.
Yeah. If we all get hungry, are we gonna have to order out for a tome foo?
Yeah, right. Let us move on before we.
We need to move on. We've gotten way off track.
I'm so happy that I am here right now. You have no idea how fulfilled I am. You have convinced me that life is worth living again.
Well, I'm happy
because somewhere out there is going to be 20 minutes of just the worst pun jokes I've ever heard in my life. I've never been happier. That's it. I've never been happier.
I'm glad to hear that.
Welcome to Movie Night.
I must make a comment.
Tornado feels
We
compelled.
have had a hurricane of puns. It'll storm right in and blow you away with a punishing deluge.
Oh my, that was, and I should mention
that's a bad tomen.
And, all right. That's it. Let us move on. Moving on. It's because
getting worse.
As Convenient says, this is getting to be torment. Here we go.
Cisco to San Diego is 500 miles. There should be 31.45 miles of drop. Jesse measured 241 feet.
There it is. 31.45. Not 35 or whatever I said.
Someone should tell Jesse that we are missing 31.40 miles of curvature.
No, we aren't. No, you screwed up your calculation.
Piquing my curiosity.
Even with every bit of benefit I could give you.
So this has been fun. I've enjoyed just
bring up the volume again.
Playing with this. It's enjoyable. And,
there we go.
So I'm going to continue doing that. And like I said, I'll be using the book, Butterfield's book, as just an interesting research project. That's that's my crosshair.
It's a chat.
What do we got going on in the chat?
That's a good one by Heart on My Sleeves.
Who was it that wrote 8675309, Jenny? Never mind. I got it. Tommy Two Tome.
Oh, it never ends. Beautiful. All right.
I still like Heart on My Sleeves is we need to tome down the tomfoolery.
Yes, that we do. All right. Let us try to get. See, that's enough of our silliness. Let's get back to Jaron's silliness just for a little bit longer.
Serious question.
Yes, go ahead.
How far into this video are we?
We're pretty much done.
We are kicking ass. We are 8 minutes and 23 seconds into a 13-minute video. We have made better time this time than any other show today.
Yeah, I was actually going to crack a joke about it, but you're right. We are blazing through this right now.
Yes, we have. Hey, in no show that I have done today have we moved so quickly.
So I just got to say this now. It's 4:20 somewhere.
Moving on.
Not yet. It will be in a few minutes.
Yeah, a few minutes.
Moving on.
Through my level instrument, sitting on top of the fire tower at Apple Pie Hill at about elevation 256 feet, looking at the Comcast building, which is over 1,000 feet tall, but we are intersecting it at the top rather than somewhere down lower at 256, let's say.
Hey,
maybe
Sai.
now.
Yes, sir. Hill, what do you got?
You know how Jaronism was moving house?
Yes.
Does that mean for a while he was tomeless?
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. You see what you started mentioning, Tome Sai?
Never ends. Never ends.
This is. We better watch out. This is Tomicide.
Careful.
Oh my God.
Someone needs to record this in the puns thing. Really.
We have in the Discord thing, we have a special section dedicated to puns.
Someone needs to clip this video of all the puns and just upload it there.
That's a good idea.
But I just have a question. If
Yes.
someone, since we doubt what Jaron says, would that make us doubting Thomas?
Oh, here it comes. All right.
Yo, wait, hold on, Caproni. That thing you said about cutting the video with the puns. That sounds like a job. That sounds like a job for Tome City Alpha.
Okay. All right.
Have I ever told you guys that I really consider all of you my Tomies?
Can I bop Hillel on the head now, please? Can I please?
As long as
I'm too far away, I'm safe.
As long as we don't have Tornado spacing people again. When he gets mad, people get spaced. All right.
Hey, don't send me away with tome work.
You tell work in a minute.
Okay, let's try.
I can't.
Look, it's getting out of hand.
I'm tapping out. I'm done. I can't.
It's getting out of hand here. I want you guys seriously.
Okay, let's move on.
I never thought I would say this, but can I please go back to watching a Jaronism video?
All right, I'll say this. I'll say this once.
First,
I want you
I gotta
guys.
point out what convenient said.
Please do. Let's see.
Before we get going, before we end the pun, tornado or tornado?
All right.
That one.
I may point out, I have played in this tomfoolery.
Indeed.
I say tomato, you say potato.
Caproni.
Yeah.
No, I just want to fuck y'all in the head.
That joke was really a tome run.
Look.
Okay, in all honesty,
Brian Stevens, why?
Look.
Okay, in all honesty, let's get please. Let's move on before it gets even more out of hand. Let's ignore the chat.
Was it ever in hand? That's the question. Because I came back to it.
All right. As for
Ranger
the
Man,
as for the puns,
Ranger Man actually says,
Yes?
"Hold your head up."
Yeah, moving on. That's exactly what we're gonna do. And as for the puns, I'm gonna say this once. I want you all to tone it down a little bit. Here we go.
Okay, just tome your head up.
Moving on.
You can see the problem. Jesse thinks if he looks through a leveled telescope at 256 feet high and looks across 30 miles at the Comcast building, which is over 1,000 feet tall, that his crosshairs should hit that building at 256 feet.
Okay, did you hear what he said there? He's accusing Jesse of expecting reality to work.
Yeah, bad dog.
Yeah, I was gonna say drink. We've already covered this.
Yes, yep.
We've already covered this with the whole. We understand how it works, and that is what you would see on a curve.
Yeah, and where's the bottom, by the way? And
so asked and answered.
Yep. Up and let us see. It sounds. I'm not sure. I think Squirrel says we should just skip over him this time around. It sounded. Now, Squirrel, go ahead.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. Jared is assuming two things. Number one, that he's dealing with a flat plane a flat plane and straight drop.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a linear progression. It isn't in any way, shape, or form. You got this in between. He also assumes that either the Earth is incredibly small, or the plane in question is infinite. He doesn't get the idea of sphere. He's never seen a baseball, a basketball, a soccer ball, anything of this nature in his life.
Yeah, Squirrel. We've already, while you were gone, we already went over all this.
Wait a minute. He might know that the base wasn't he referring to the baseball as a means of travel to different stars in a previous episode of Movie Night?
Hey, Sight.
Yes, sir.
He knows about basketballs. I know that because he did a video where he showed a picture of the moon and saying that it should have dark spots if it's a sphere, and therefore it's a It
does have dark spots.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's
all the bits that we can't see
all the bits that are in shadow during any amount of the phase.
Indeed.
Well, he was meaning at like where the poles or whatever. I don't remember. It was a while since I've seen it. So yeah.
Sight.
Yes, Tornado.
One of them was actually directed at me. Tornado, you're drunk. Go tome.
Indeed. All right.
And then Atheist Rex with you're all suffering ptomaine poisoning.
Indeed. All right. And here we go.
as if buildings.
So many puns on tomes.
Yeah, why do we latch
Honestly,
onto
I
that?
completely forget what tome used to mean.
I have a question though.
Yes.
Since there are so many, I just gotta ask this: which tome pun is the oldest in the book?
All right, I think we'll be
Okay.
we'll be
I
hitting,
really want to bonk Hill on the head now.
we'll be hitting play now.
I didn't say. What were you talking about me for?
Hey,
Okay.
He started it.
Somebody please tell me what the hell this tome shit's about so I can feel included.
I inadvertently used the term for a very arcane word for book, and everybody latched onto it. That's what happened. Nothing other than that. That's what.
If you die, you want to have a tomb of the room of you.
You're probably better off for having missed it.
All right.
Yeah, we should probably get back to the video. And I understand. Wait, do you say,
I'll go back and
Caproni?
I'll
You
go
say
back
that
to
you actually did some. You know something a little bit about this topic with geodetic survey.
A little, because when we did the dental hygiene building, I actually had to get a hold of the surveyors because their numbers weren't matching up with what we were trying to do. It wasn't. So I had to get a hold of them, and we had to figure out what was going on.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I have a little dealing with them, but I am a drafter by trade, and so I've had to do steel, civil, architecture, machine, you name it. I've kind of touched on it a bit.
So, are you saying this topic kind of hits a little close to tome?
That's possibly.
I should have saw that one. I slow-balled that one.
Hey,
yeah,
you know what?
Hey, Sai.
Yes,
Sai,
sir.
Can you link me the video where this happened, and I'll watch it tomorrow?
Oh my God!
I can't.
And
Who's Dungeon Master here?
Oh my! And I'm glad Cap told us about his background and that sort of thing, because I mean I thought it was just me, but I'm definitely feeling a draft in here. Okay, here we go.
The distance remained the same height, no matter how far.
And hopefully about 4 years, I'll be the Pungeon Master because I'll be
All
an
right.
engineer.
Moving on.
Away they are.
Hey, that's what she
Truth
said.
is, when you look through a telescope, you're looking at a 2D image.
Wow.
Oh wait, he's going into different stuff now.
Yeah.
He mentioned
This
a 2D
is what is
image.
expected when things get smaller with distance.
Yeah, 2D. Okay, he just said
for yourself.
He just said when you look through a telescope, you're looking at a 2D image. I wonder where he's going with this.
And I actually have a drink on that because he's trying to argue almost like a camera. But even if you take a picture of your camera, yes, that is 2D per se in the picture, but you also get the representation of 3D because you can still make out depth. The only way that you might be able to argue against a 3D image would be if that was something like, let's say, an isometric view of that drawing, or of what you're looking at, I should say, which is usually used as a representation of what you would be looking at there. But since you are looking through a telescope, you are seeing a three-dimensional view because you can see height, width, and depth. So yes, that is a three-dimensional view on there.
Oh, sorry. If you're using a telescope or some other kind of observation device in, the universe, in our 3D universe, you're necessarily going to be looking at a three-dimensional scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everything you look at is going to have depth.
Indeed.
Exactly. It's just they don't understand that.
No, that does.
Like I said, this is one of the few topics I do feel knowledgeable on, so I'm happy I had something I know.
I am face palming right now.
All right.
I have height checks on my mom's oven mitt.
Here we go.
A picture or a 2D window in front of you. You can't just take that one person's perspective because we all know things shrink in the distance. And we know that the telescope does not.
You've been over this. Things do not, the way he's trying to say it, at least I'm done giving him the benefit of the doubt. I only did that for his math. I walk away from you, I'm still 5'11", no matter where I go.
Yeah, and if it's
the problem is he's conflating. It shrinks with it gets shorter.
Yeah, it's just it.
Yeah, and
I would love to meet the incredible shrinking people in houses.
And while it's getting shorter,
with perspective, things shrink uniformly. They don't just get shorter, and that's his main problem.
And why does the bottom? Why does the bottom disappear while it's shrinking? How about that? We haven't talked about that yet.
It shrinks too much. You can't see it anymore.
Oh, more so than the top. Got it.
I think I
Yeah.
think
Exactly.
I think he's wrong on both accounts. He says
Perspective.
he says things shrink in the distance. Well, let him have an orange, put it on a plate on the table, and wait a couple of days. Think there are things that shrink quite nearby. You don't need a distance.
Okay, that works.
And this experiment actually works, unlike his.
Okay, all right. And geez, we were making such good time till that whole pun thing raised its ugly head again. All right, here we go.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, here we go.
So here we see
Tone
the
bad.
crosshairs missing the target high. And Jesse thinks this is because he lives on a ball, and the target is angled away from him.
Holy
But
shit!
actually,
He drew a proper
the
diagram.
reason that we miss the target high is because things in the distance reduce in size. Nothing is leaning away from you. The so-called zenith.
Okay, I'm calling drink on this. Okay,
I drink.
We're all.
I win. I win.
You know, you win, but we
thought we
still
went down the list.
we still go in order.
Fuck your list.
We're trying. Remember, we're trying a new thing. So on that note, let us. And if it's a pass, just try and say pass quick so we can move on. Tornado, anything to add or pass?
Citation fucking needed.
Okay. Jeez, we rarely hear harsh language from Tornado. He must be upset. Okay, Captain, anything to add or pass?
Yes. What he's trying to point out is on the things leaning away, you wouldn't notice it because, I mean, the curve is literally so slight, you wouldn't notice it because of the buildings being so small due to scale. It is called scale. Learn it. Take a basic drafting class. Drafting 101, you'll learn this. And the zenith angle is not perspective, but the actual curve, and we can prove this time and time again. Surveyors have to take this into account.
There we go. All right.
Okay, that's it.
Moving down. Squirrel, anything to add or pass? 1, 2,
Pass.
3. Okay. RJ, anything to add or pass?
Oh, just that I guess he figures that if he repeats the same shit over and over and over again and never thinks about that bloody little angle part that's experimental, which the guy actually experimented on. And you know how far we seem to be from GPS now?
Yeah, we do seem to have wandered a little bit away from that. All right. And Tao, anything to add or pass?
I'll take famous retard for $100.
Okay, very good. Eats on mute. Gonna go for it. Anything to add or pass?
Yeah, I want to dispute that nothing is leaning away from him, because I'm pretty sure when he walks in a bar and starts talking, everybody is going to lean away from him.
Good point. All right, down the list. Hill, anything to add or pass?
Just that he's being very intellectually dishonest with his diagramming, and that he shows a proper diagram, and I'm extremely surprised he showed a proper diagram for why the leaning happens on a globe Earth, but decided for some reason not to do that same diagram for a flat Earth.
So it would seem.
Because
Oh, that would be tough to do, because then he would have to think through what the hell he thinks happened.
And
it takes so much thought to draw two parallel lines.
Yeah, and all right.
And also, there's the fact that in general, it's just a complete coincidence that this curvilinear, not so linear perspective just so happens to match up with what the globe Earth should be observing, and that's what flat earthers always do when they actually make predictions that then they're false, and so instead they just reverse engineer what their predictions should be based on what we actually observe. It's all ad hoc.
Interesting. That
And
does seem to be the case.
I just got one question. Are you just now figuring out Jaronism is intellectually dishonest?
No, it just needs stating.
Okay.
Good
Just
enough.
wanted to make sure.
All right. Mark is muted, so that's a pass. Soundly, do you have anything to add or pass?
Pass.
Okay. I would just, because I also called drink on this one, and it's actually, he didn't actually say anything about it, but it definitely applies. Their whole perspective thing, he mentions often parallel lines, and if you are looking through a telescope or a theodolite or anything, on a line that is, perpendicular to the Earth. So theoretically, your line of sight should be parallel. The shrinking in the distance thing directly refutes his own argument about everything being perspective, because although it would get smaller, the lines in it, the railroad tracks, not only do they never cross, they never actually get closer to each other. The distance remains the same. Perspective wouldn't make a bit of difference. If it was on a flat plane, the shrinking into the distance, your line of sight would still be the same distance above said flat surface, and there would be no drop. Based on his own arguments with the stupid railroad tracks, this is crap. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
they never explain why perspective only works parallel to the ground. They never explain that.
Yeah, what you were saying with parallel lines made me think of a Paul Gia video that was one of his Eric Hovind ones, where the guy was talking about like, why do parallel lines never meet, when he supposedly, like, I think he taught math or whoever. It's one of Eric's little guest guys in the first one, and it's like, and Paul's like, well, I don't know, they're consenting lines, but if they want to meet it later, they can. But as far as we know, the description that we have for parallel lines is that they never cross. And I'm sorry, Paul, if I completely obliterated how your argument went. You did it much better than I ever did. So, yeah.
Indeed. And,
just made me think of that.
Absolutely. Consenting lines.
Don't worry about it, Cap Tommy.
Oh, my. Okay. And on that note, let us, if there are no further comments, let us move on.
Angle is actually perspective.
Yeah, okay.
So we know that things will always shrink. Your sight.
Okay. No, I'm not going to say that. Here we go.
Sight line will always be high of the target, and just because someone told you that the reason for this is because you live on a big space ball doesn't make it true.
Spaceballs.
In this case,
drink.
Okay.
Yeah, drink. I got one. Hill can take it, or we can go down the list.
All right,
but,
that was.
Yeah.
There were only 2 calls, Cap and Hill, so we'll go in order with those 2 calls. Cap, you're up. You're at the top of the list.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say the part about that is cost price perspective, and that it would also be that way on a flat Earth. We have lasers to prove this.
Don't tell Jaron some lasers. He gets all excited.
No, don't say lasers for don't let him hear you say lasers.
Picks him up, starts waving him around.
Yeah, really, it's Star Wars all over again.
I've never seen it, so I can't say it. Laser beam. We know, we know this. Surveyors know this and figure it in. Civil engineers know this and factor for it. I mean, there's a reason we use relative level, meaning relative to sea level, because it's, that factors in, because since you're only working with ground, it just tells you how high you are elevated above sea level.
Unfortunately, Jaronism's favorite movie is Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Tomes.
All right. Did you have any? Was that it, Hill? Was that your drink call, or did you have something else to add?
No, that was not it. It was the God.
I just all the puns.
Did you forget?
I need to recover from my own condition.
All right.
I'm sorry. I have a symptom.
Okay.
Oh God. Okay. Jesse did not need to be taught that the zenith angles is a globe Earth prediction and phenomenon that is observed. Jaronism literally drew one of his shitty diagrams to show it. You don't need to be taught this. It's just not parallel lines. Sorry, it's just tangent lines. You don't need to be taught. I mean, anything special about the globe Earth to understand tangent lines, and then to be able to go out and measure them. You don't need to be taught that.
Okay. I would agree with that.
I got to point out a pun that Hayev said.
Okay.
Jaron is the epitome of stupidity.
Oh my.
Yeah, so, yeah. You see what you started, Cy? You see what you started?
All right.
It's all your fault.
All right. No, I promise.
Yeah.
No more arcane terminology. Everything will be standard words, so as not to trigger a goddamn pun war. All right, moving on.
I mean, arcane
The
terminology.
geologist up.
Yes, no
I was gonna
arcane
say,
terminology.
So I put a geologist up, then we can just start making rock puns. I mean, I don't think you're gonna stop the puns.
Oh, don't get me started on rock puns.
Invite my niece.
Okay, shall we?
Okay, I was taught me to start making rock puns.
Shall we move? Shall we move on now?
Don't worry, we'll just get all sentimental on it.
Oh my God! Ah.
I was not trying to make puns.
Okay, you have awakened.
We're almost done. Let's finish this up. And
Yes.
then we
Let's
can
get
get to
this
the other
stone rolling.
Here we go. Keep this. All right, here we go.
Oh,
Moving on.
It makes it a lot.
I want to thank Flat Earth.
we're rocking and rolling.
You're welcome, Jesse.
All right.
We don't need today. We use GPS for everything. We use GPS for everything.
Oh.
We use GPS
Blind
for
faith and trust in known liars is a recipe for deception.
We don't go around.
Ring.
Except where it works.
Tornado, you got a call? Go ahead.
Yeah, blind faith and trust in liars is a recipe for deception. Yeah. Hi, Pot. I'm Cat. It's like, hi, Pot. Hey, Kettle. Name's Pot. How you doing?
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right. Any
Jaronism's Pot.
Yeah, there we go.
Like a whole bunch of people believe Joseph Smith way back in the day.
That is true as well. Anyway, here we go.
Measuring the curvature. of the
Also,
Earth.
I want to continue one more thing.
Okay.
That is just what to reiterate what I said earlier, is that, and also nothing says just blindly trusting people like going and measuring something yourself with your own equipment.
Yeah.
Because that's what Jesse did in this very video. He went out and measured something that he set up with his own equipment. That's not just blindly following what other people are saying.
Yeah.
So it was a.
But you're supposed to blindly trust Jaron when he tells you not to blindly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, Jaronism's
thing.
arguments really have hit rock bottom.
All right.
And truly, the results are petrifying.
Oh my
Sulfur, help me.
All right.
Jaronism leaves no stupid
puns.
Jaronism leaves no stupid rock unturned.
All right. Let us. Jaron, Guy Fawkes.
What?
Jaron.
I'm sorry. Sai.
Jaron.
No moss.
Jaron, what an
Okay,
igneous.
Sai.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I have really started to erode the quality of this stream.
Okay, here we go. Moving on.
So you're saying it's settled science.
They already
Yes.
did that. They already did that.
So let's do it again.
That's already been done. That's already been done.
What difference does that make?
For many centuries. For many.
I don't care if it was done yesterday or 1,000 years ago.
It's an
Okay, not a drink call, but this is it's another asked and answered.
I got one.
Is okay. Well, we'll do it then. But earlier on in his failed quote line, when he left too much of what Jesse was saying.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I was actually getting ready to say asked and answered on on my drink
Wow,
call
he
because
can't
we've been
even
over
line
this,
right.
and it's the it's the point of that. Yes, it is pretty well settled. So unless you can produce something that completely disproves what we know it to be, then we'll listen. But we don't need to go check it every day, and that would be pointless. We've done it enough. We know the calculations. We know what it is. So until you can come up with something better that explains it better and disproves what we have, I ain't going to be listening to your little flat earth.
Well, he's already
idiocy.
provided us with the solution. Is curvilinear perspective. Don't you remember that?
Oh yes. Oh yes. That does clear. That does clear it all up, doesn't it?
Yeah. That,
clears it all.
I also just
that math.
add one thing is that
If
okay, it's just that this what Jaronism the stuff he just said about not needing or not caring about other people who have done whatever in the past is that this is one of the big not one of the, not and just the one problem, but it's one of the many problems of the flat Earth movement, is that it rejects one of the foundations of science itself. And not science as in an institution, but science as a practice and a methodology. It attacks that thing that it was Newton who said he could see. Well, I believe it was Newton who said he could see further because he was standing on the shoulders of giants. The whole point of science is that it tests and builds upon past knowledge, so you don't have to again reinvent the wheel every time you want to go do something.
Indeed.
And the flat Earth movement, it attacks that very foundational thing by just ignoring and discarding all the information and knowledge gathered by those giants whom we stand on their shoulders in order to continue learning, is because they always want to go back to the very beginning every single time.
Quite true.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, I mean, I know I haven't done survey work, so just getting out there like Jesse did. But again, I've worked with surveyors. I understand enough to talk to them on what I'm trying to convey. As a drafter, obviously we have two different languages that we speak, but we understand enough that we can talk to each other on that. But I can also point out that what they find, what they show, is also very accurate to what we show. And again, if it's if it is just getting smaller and not an actual curve, we would never be able to survey anything accurately. There will be no way to test for that because I mean, okay, you get atmospheric not atmospheric, would that be refraction or reflection, where
refraction,
like when you can see the heat, such as like when it's really hot, you can see the heat actually almost rising off, almost like the gravity waves off of the Earth. When it gets real, when you look at it, the mirage effect.
Yeah.
I mean,
refraction.
You would never be able to accurately measure on those things without. If it was flat, it wouldn't work.
Indeed, and
it's almost laughable.
And they reject one of the other cornerstones of the actual practice of science, in that they keep describing let's stick to the one person here, keeps describing it as science is. It's almost as if he described it as a book. Here's what it says. This is truth.
Yeah.
Live with it. When the whole purpose is, here is what I have found. Here's what I have found. This is what I purport to be true. If you can prove that it is wrong, by all means do so. That is actually the whole purpose. The peer review thing. It's built to fix problems.
Yeah. And if somebody says something stupid, they get called out for it.
Indeed. Like
May I make a comment?
That's what we are doing with Jaron.
Like my Bill Clinton thing. Yeah. Anyway.
If flat earthers say something stupid and it gets debunked, then they just forget about it for a while and then come back to it a year later.
Indeed.
I feel the need to comment.
Uh-oh, before Tornado explodes, let's get to him. Tornado, young fellow, what do you got?
Jaron doesn't just claim that science is a book. He claims it's a religion of scientism. That is his exact words.
Exactly. And yes, and that was exactly my point. As he says, this is science. It is what is true. Do not question it. When no, it's question it to your heart's content. We say what he says. Do your own research. If you can prove this wrong, by all means do so. Quite true.
Yeah. And again,
I've got a comment
if you
on that.
did disprove gravity, the quote unquote, you proved the Earth to be flat, you disproved any of those, you would be world famous overnight.
Exactly.
You would have every research facility at your door wanting you to work for them.
Oh, I think Tao's heading off.
Prizes. Yeah.
Night Tao.
Night Tao.
Night Tao, thanks for joining us.
You would have prizes, awards after award after award, not to mention the Nobel Prize and everything else. If you could disprove one of the fundamental things that we know of science.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's kind of along the lines of what I was going to say. It's like Jaron and a lot of these guys, they like to point out that, well, science has been wrong about things before. And it's like, yeah, in every case, it was other scientists that found what was wrong with it.
Exactly. I mean, how did they think we found out those things were wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And the ones
scientists
who
trying to tear the ideas apart. Science is constantly trying to tear ideas apart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only
And
thing
I
that can
was gonna
prove
say,
science
and a lot
wrong
of the
is
ones-
science. Go ahead, Cap.
And a lot of the ones who have proven stuff wrong, such as the idea of spontaneous genesis, Louis Pasteur. I mean, those things, all those people who have proven things wrong and gotten more things right are world famous. I mean, they're known throughout all history and time because of their contributions.
Agreed.
As Cap said about Jaronism, he needs to present his Nobel Prize. Then he'll talk.
He's good enough. All right, we're 3 minutes from the end. Let's move on and see, because now I think we're in just the babbling phase of
we're
video.
pretty much just rambling idiocy right now.
Let's see if we can make it to the end.
All right, here we go.
Stop it.
Trust the book.
Won't happen.
Isn't that what science hates about religion? The adherence to a book?
The history.
If you've paid any attention, history has proven to be lies time and time again.
Drink!
Okay, let's just Tornado first up.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Tornadoes was more violent than mine, so he can take that.
Okay, Tornado, you're
You
up.
want to try proving that, fuck stick?
Hey, language there, young fella.
Yeah, a bit more violent than mine.
Sorry.
He was, and just like just like RJ, Tornado was such a nice, polite young fellow before he started hanging out with us.
And we are corrupted.
And we apologize for doing that to you, Tornado. Captain, you got anything to add or pass?
Not just more citation, quote Squirrel here, citation fucking needed. Please,
right.
I would love to see that.
I have something.
Hey, that's my line.
That's why I said to quote you.
All right.
I gave it to you.
I was going to say that one myself. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. So Squirrel says ditto. Anything to add other than ditto?
Actually, Squirrel has a different
Yeah, I have
line for
something.
you.
I have something to add.
Oh, okay.
Squirrel
Hold
has
on.
a slightly different line. If you're okay with that.
Okay.
Where is your evidence?
That is a damn good question, and I think Soundly, you wish to go ahead.
Yeah, seriously, every single thing that he's talking about in this video is something that has already been explained to him. He needs to open his skull, eject the SD card, flip the read-only switch off of write-only. You know what I mean? Like,
he also needs to blow
he
into
just
the cartridge
doesn't
a little bit.
learn. He doesn't, like, people give him perfectly rational and reasonable explanations, the actual correct answers, and he can't recall them. It's amazing.
No, he immediately, even when he does not, you're right, and even when he does not refute them, he'll get the answer, and occasionally there'll even be agreement, and then in the next communication, video, or whatever you hear, he'll make the same assertion that he just allegedly learned about recently. That's exactly the case. He's running on read-only mode.
Yeah, I'm actually, I'll say this legitimately, I was surprised he let Jesse talk as much as he did from his video. On the long points he did, because it's like, because I was watching, I was like, this isn't the normal Jaron we deal with. Where's the whole, this is a lie and cut everyone off and quote mine everyone. I was like, wow, he's actually putting a lot of actual facts in this video and completely ignoring them and letting him disprove his own points and not even addressing what disproves him.
I think I know why he did that.
Yeah, they are facts, but they're someone else's facts.
Yeah, I think I know why he let
Jesse
continue. No, that's not what it was this time. He let Jesse continue because he heard the words he wanted to refute, but then he let him keep going because I don't think he understood what was being said.
Yeah.
Because what was being said right before his alleged refutation made his refutation irrelevant. And so I think it was by accident.
Well, plus it's lazier. Somebody else fill in the time, and then he can just come up with a few of his cute little PowerPoint slides to fill in the gaps on it. So it's lazy.
That is also a possibility.
Either is supremely confident. He's thinking his audience will just dismiss anything Jesse had to say.
Well, see, that's the bad part. They do. That's very sad. But he's probably right.
Yeah. We've encountered this before. It's always due to human error.
That is true as well. And Yeah, we.
No, it sounds just like my voicemail.
Hey, so I got a question. Should I be scared now? That was HAL 9000. Has the Android AI army invasion started? Did I miss that memo that it was starting soon?
Maybe you were napping when that happened. Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't worry. Just remember, it's not a problem. The Android invasion, it's not going to be an issue. Just all you have to remember is one simple phrase, and to save yourself and the planet. I can't believe you don't know it already. It goes like this: Norman, I am lying. That's it. That's all you got to say. All right.
Yeah, I was going to say,
or I want to have the exact value of pi.
All right. Let us. Okay, 2 minutes
Oh,
left.
I had one more. I had one more comment.
Oh, please do, Hill.
About Jaronism's unquestionable science book of cannot be challenged, and that makes it a religion. Is that Jaronism? Please point me towards the science book, not a science book. The science book, where it says in the foreword that it can't be questioned.
Yeah. As far as I know,
can't be questioned.
That's the one that I got on my Kindle reader.
It can't be questioned. Yet we have competing scientists with competing theories questioning each other all the time. What the hell are they talking about?
Odd that was not included.
That's because they're flat Earth scientists.
Historian, I'm particularly pissed off by his basic lack of history. That essentially the way he approaches things with having the attention span of toast means that everything that human beings have ever done is off limits. Everybody has to reinvent the wheel each time, but he doesn't even get to reinvent the wheel. We don't see Jaron with wheels.
No, it's amazing how this applies only to people that have knowledge, because the derps on freaking YouTube, you just believe their shit because it's it's holy. Whatever. Oh yeah, flat Earth and Dubé said so. But you can't believe anybody for what they say except for Dubé and
RJ. Did you say he has the wait, hold on one second. RJ, did you say he has the attendance span of Tomst?
Oh, don't start that up again.
Very, very close. Yes, burnt Tomst.
Burnt Tomst.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
But I gotta say, I gotta correct RJ on something.
Yes.
RJ said Jaronism doesn't have any wheels. He has a wheel. It's just the hamster is dead and became a skeleton.
All right. Last 2 minutes. Last 2 minutes. Let's see what we got. It's going to be more of this just rambling crap. Here we go.
There should never be a problem with questioning so-called established facts.
Drink.
As long as we keep.
Not that far.
Do we have to?
Yeah, really. That was okay. 4 seconds in, tornado. What do you got?
It's stupid and wrong.
Jaronism, the only thing you question is the amount of stupid you can spew from your stupid mouth.
Okay, I think. What do they say? What is it? Triggered.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
I do kind of
mandatory 30 seconds of silence.
Yeah.
It's funny how
this is awkward.
Funny how I automatically obey. Oh, we're honoring something. Okay. All right.
Well, press play though. You got to press play during that 30 seconds.
Come on, guys. Guys.
Anybody ever wondered
guys, we are trying to have a moment of
silence. Oh my God! All right, hit and play.
Hell!
And I'm good with the let's let it go.
What is the version of a crucifix for vampires to go after puns? I'm not sure.
All right. And on that note, maybe the
let's to move on.
Yeah, let's let it play a bit and let's not rush. Let's let it try to get more than 4 seconds this time. Here we go.
Saying things like
they already did that.
Or getting upset when questions are asked and saying
that's already been done.
Then what you are promoting, Jesse, is not science.
Science
is questioning.
Yes.
Science is open inquiry.
Yes, it is.
Without shame and ridicule.
It's okay. Well, that wasn't too bad. Go ahead, Tornado.
More than 4 seconds.
It was. It was about 15.
Jaronism? You don't understand the definition of science. Science is a body of knowledge through which we gain information of our natural world. It is not something that must be questioned every single day. It is by its nature questioning itself. You, however, do not seem to understand that question does not equal deny.
Indeed. And as Jim Adams says, Tome waits for no man. Okay.
Well,
anybody else?
well, actually, I mean,
go ahead.
The funny thing about people like Jaronism,
yes,
it is that they constantly ask questions, and then they seem to think that they're noble in asking questions, but they never seem to be around for the answers to those questions.
True, quite true.
Just asking questions does not get you anywhere.
Yeah,
right.
You have to be able to provide answers to said questions, and when you ask a question as to literally any of the inane crap that he somehow got through our barrage of puns. We have very easy answers to all of those things, and people like Jaronism are never around to listen to those answers. So like he's missing a very crucial part of this whole thing. Like, yes, ask questions. Yeah,
guys,
that's what he's missing.
He's asking questions that are akin to saying, I wonder if the sky is blue. And then somebody shows you a picture of the blue sky and you go, oh, but that could be a hologram, or that could be blah, blah, blah. And then is the sky blue? Is the sky blue? And yes, go look at the fucking sky. That's what comes out there.
But you're not testing it for yourself. You're just taking it from the unquestionable color palette.
Yeah. See, that's the thing that I never understood is they ask questions and then get mad at you when you provide them answers that don't align to what they want the answer to be. And when you provide evidence that's apparently never good enough, when you can easily show this and explain it. This is the one video I actually knew about and could talk on, but yeah. But I have to say, might agree with Guy Fox here. It might be more educational if we did this. Hey, can you guys turn off the video and play some Tom Jones next? I just gotta ask him. I just gotta ask one question. Maybe you all might know, but does anybody know what's new, Pussycat?
I think we need to. I think we need to make some atonement here. I really.
All right, there. You know how usually
we could. Well, actually, we could. Something we could do is we could stop and put on a little game of tomes.
Yeah. Oh my God, I tried.
Peter, I just gotta say, it's not unusual to need atonement.
All right, you know how
unusual.
It's not unusual to have tone with anyone.
They are changing.
There we go. That was for anybody who did not like the new format of order. We had a little bit of a mass talk over there just for you. I hope you appreciated that. We scheduled that before the show.
Let's finish the video.
Hayef says he prefers Tom Petty. It's a heartbreaker.
You know how usually I have the habit of glancing at the public chat at just the wrong time to where I catch some non sequitur that's absolutely frightening? I picked the right time this time. I look and I see deity. It starts with the two lines I catch right next to each other, and I can't imagine they're related, but they just sounded perfect to me. Was I see Pink Floyd, of course, and then absolutely, and Sharks. See, those two together to me were perfect. Pink Floyd and Sharks. Wow. What the hell could be better than that?
Hey,
yes.
I had a good pun. I just lost it.
Oh,
it was a good musical one too.
Oh my, loss of pun.
Probably a good thing.
Failure to launch.
Pino says that.
I feel like we need to have a ceremony for that lost pun.
Looking down on.
Okay, this wasn't my pun, but I really do think these jokes are falling flat.
Okay, here we go.
Nice. I like that one. Oh, you brought me back.
Okay, well,
Caproni, I got a level with you. I think you're really onto something.
Yeah. But I will say that this panel is very sharp.
Okay. We got a minute and a half. Let's see what happens here. Here we go.
In disproving the current best guess, but there should never be established science or adherence to dogmas.
Okay.
Oh my god.
There we go.
You're not-
Five
This
holes.
is not a dogma, you piece of shit.
This
Yes. All right.
this
Roll, calm down.
frankly
We're not
I
throwing
find
a
this
tornado,
method
calm down.
of. I feel like we really need to put this video in gear. It keeps starting and stopping again.
Yeah. Let's see.
This I find this
Let's finish this. Let's-
abtominable.
Arr!
let's just-
I am now permanently hand shy every time I hear Hill say something. I immediately brace for the pun every time.
Hey, I have a question.
And
Yes. Yeah.
I have a question.
go ahead,
Is this
Cap.
panel turning into a bunch of leopards? Because all these puns are falling on deaf ears.
Okay.
I just
I'm going in here.
apparently we have two troubadours stepping out of a Hindu temple in black and white.
Interesting.
God, thank you, RJ. Thank you, RJ. You were a guiding light.
All right, Tome Dome.
Moving on.
Because it's been around.
For many centuries. For many centuries.
And if we don't ask questions now and allow open discussion
2-hour mark
instead
for a
of
13-minute
intellectual
video?
ridicule,
Yeah.
then our children and our
Yeah.
children's children will be forced
All right.
to believe
Rewind, I
In
didn't
order
catch
to
most
business
of that.
religion
It's
of
taken
them all.
2 hours of us to
A
get through
religion
this
that
16-minute
will
video.
shame you for disbelief
13:34.
No, it's
through your
13.
open mind.
No, I'm
Yep.
talking
In our
about
Have religion.
defense,
And here,
It's the
there's no
religion
reason to stop
of
this.
scientism.
He's just
in
babbling.
our
Sai.
defense,
We'll just make it
Drink.
quiet.
most.
Oh,
Oh,
drink.
go ahead.
Drink moment.
No.
All right, Joe.
That looks like CGI.
I think so.
Yeah.
What?
I was just gonna say this real quick. In
Okay.
our defense of the 2 hours of this 13-minute video, I would say maybe about 45 minutes to an hour of that was puns.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
As it should be.
And you got to admit, our puns had higher information content than any 10 Jaron videos.
That is
Yeah.
true. All right.
Sai,
Yes, sir.
we were cracking jokes just for pun.
That we were.
High Ev tells us it's time to drop an atomic weapon on this video.
We'll just.
did that.
Well, we'll
There's no
eventually,
reason.
at,
Oh, my-
at some tome in the future, we will finish this and we'll be done with it.
Well, see, that's the cool part. It's playing right now.
Sorry, I was-
I didn't hit
Is
pause. Yes, I just cut down the volume and let it play. There's nothing going on. Oh wait, maybe he's talking. Hold on. Oh no, there was this piece.
Jaronism minus the volume is really entertaining.
Oh wait, let's back it up. He did his
And
piece.
Lies
I
are
mean-
everywhere.
I mean,
Citation
frankly-
fucking needed.
I mean, frankly, he does just keep talking and talking with nothing really of
Yeah.
substance. He just keeps toning
Drink.
and toning on. I mean,
Yes, and
God.
Drink
He
right
He
here.
was right on that last image, though. The lies are everywhere. At least on his videos, they are.
that is true. All
I
right,
just think that would go with the territory.
Sai,
I-
drink
Jaronism.
right here.
all right. Tornado, what do you got?
Look at this image right there. It says scientism.
Yeah.
I'd love to shove his little scientism.
All right. So, what was the tornado?
I see he's got Einstein up there.
Tornado. What was the magic
Calm
word?
down.
okay.
Calm
All
down.
right.
I think
and Hawking and Darwin, and who the hell's up on the right-hand corner? It looks
The-
like somebody
the-
from a
Hi.
wait, which corner?
the right-hand
Top
corner.
right,
Is that,
top
is that
right, that's
Mr.
Copernicus.
Spock?
All
Oh,
right. and-
Copernicus? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
going,
I
going
was thinking
around
from
starting
the
at
photograph.
12 o'clock. Let's see. 12 o'clock going clockwise around. That's Stephen Hawking, Copernicus, Neil deGrasse,
Mhm.
Darwin,
Mhm.
Isaac Newton, and then Albert
Albert
Einstein.
Einstein.
Yeah,
Nice.
all those
Well,
jerkwads.
actually, that's me. I snuck in there, and the people in the chat had noticed, and none of you noticed.
That
I was
is.
silent, and
That's. Look at him. It's right there, and it's.
Imposter.
How could we miss that? All right, and
Sai?
Well, you're just
Thomas.
frankly, you're just in. You're
made
no,
that
I can't say
earlier.
it. I can't say it.
all right.
What? Come
ahead.
on. Out
Go
with
ahead.
it.
now you have to say it.
That was
It's
it.
too much of a stretch anyway. I was trying to combine the word imitating with tome, like imitoming.
No, that is a bit of a
Well,
stretch.
somebody did a hematoma joke just up above there, but Doubting Thomas says rated out of 10 by Rotten Tomatoes.
Hey, Hey, I got a question. Is that Doubting Thomas or Doubting Thomas?
Take your pick this night.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Let's see.
Whatever you say, Tome over.
I want to hear.
What I'm curious about is now, Sai, will you still be using the screen now? You know, there's a back entrance for me to just pop up every single time I want to.
I am rather surprised by that, and hell, I've never objected to you being here before. You pop up whenever you want. All right, let's
sign right now. I want to shove Jaronism scientism crap right back up his shiny brown chakra.
All right. And now, what tornado? 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 What was the magic? What was the magic word that we talked about before the show? There was one magic word. Do you remember what it was? There you go. That's my
so much in a tizzy whenever he pulls that stunt.
Okay, just
excitable is the word I'd use.
Let's just try. Just remember the magic word. You'll be fine. Okay.
I mean, tornado. I mean, we don't want to put however much we don't like Jaronism, we don't want to put him in a funeral tome.
Oh my God.
All right, let's let the end play.
I jump in here real quick. I have a legitimate comment here. Okay, I want to throw that out there. Right?
Okay.
And you guys tag me in whenever you're ready. I have had an easier time getting in and out of hate breed mosh pits than I have trying to get a comment into this. But
please go ahead then.
Jump in at any tome.
Yeah, see, those of you too young, just Google hate breed. It'll all make sense. No, I want to say something about his videography, right?
Okay.
And I think the one thing I'm qualified to actually talk on, because all of this science nonsense, if you guys weren't here, he would have convinced me. And that is not a joke. I am not a smart guy. But what I can tell you is that like pacing is a very serious like thing that you need to do when you're making these kinds of videos. His intro, right, is kind of hype. Like I watch his intro and I'm kind of into it. Like, you know, the bass drops, the thing just, and then there's like the big fancy graphic. Exactly. And then it all stops and it's just your grandfather reading from the newspaper. I mean,
I do have to kind of agree. It is very monotone.
Yeah.
It's seriously, imagine it like WrestleMania. Right? Imagine if at WrestleMania you heard bottles breaking and you heard the Stone Cold music and he came walking out all hype with a pool cue like he's going to whoop ass. And then he just sits down and he just starts reading from the obituaries. Just monotone into the microphone for 30 minutes. That is a Jaronism video. Like
that's it. Yeah.
Your intro builds all of this hype and then you have no charisma. You just whine on the microphone and I'm just saying, homie, step it up, man. I mean, crack a joke.
Yeah, come on, Tommy.
Hey.
Exactly, Tommy.
Hey, eat meal. Would you like to see my thing here? I actually have a test footage thing that I kind of want to send you over the private chat.
Yeah, dude.
I was gonna say, that's why we're here, because since he doesn't make them, it becomes our tone to make them.
All right.
Well, all I have to say, I'm just glad I'm just glad we didn't watch a multi-tome video.
The last
could be coming in the future. You never know.
Comment I will make on Jaronism here is, now that this video is over and we're out of my area of expertise, my tome for genius is over.
All right. We're near the end. Let's let it play. You know what I want to hear? I want to hear if he goes back to that. Remember he used to do that, open your mind, there's truth inside, until we shamed him into admitting that it was stupid, and he stopped doing it for a while. I want to see if he included that, because recently he modified it to open your mind and something else.
He has a different line in there. I don't remember what it is, but it is different.
Let's see. So let's let it play out.
Let's see what it is.
Here we go. One more tome.
Be kind and don't lie, and open your mind. Find your own truth.
Find your own truth. That's it. Drink. You can't find your own truth. Truth is freaking truth. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I said he put it on the screen, so if you play it, I think he had something on the screen. I thought. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong.
And it was at hour 2 that Psystrike finally lost it.
Indeed, make your own truth. My truth is everybody
make
brings
sure you
me
don't
freaking
accidentally find
brownies.
someone else's truth. They're going to need that back.
Yeah, that's make your own truth. That's my truth. All of you guys got to bring me brownies. That's truth. There you
I'm
go.
wanting to find the truth where it's window rather than the door out of the 30-story building, and then we can talk truth after we meet him on the ground.
Open your mind. Find your own truth.
Well, it is a more efficient
Yeah,
method of
that's the kind of thinking that gets you, 500 different genders and all that kind of stuff.
We're gonna have to shame. We're gonna have to shame him out of using that one too. I think it took 2 or 3 strikes to get him to stop with the open your mind. There's truth
I guess
inside.
you could argue it's less stupid than what he used to have.
Open my mind. There's nothing inside.
Yeah, open.
I mean, it's Dawkins' thing. Yes, it's not having an open mind, but not so that your brain falls out.
How about we just say this? It's not better. It's less awful.
Yeah, that's true. All right, and we'll just let it run out. He's gonna say his peace thing, which for some reason that just bugs me when he does that. But anyway, here we go.
Until next time.
God damn it.
And
see again.
I don't know if he's out homonyms, but it sounds like he gets punched in the gut when he says that.
Indeed.
Yeah, no.
And look, we're back to the high production value that he was just talking about.
But the fuck the
the
medical industry?
medical
What are they
industry, scientism, double entry bookkeeping.
This is the part of WrestleMania.
Girl Scout cookies.
Dogs and cats living together.
Banking!
Banking!
Holy shit, it actually says banking.
And other,
I mean, there are
okay?
kind of
And other
space agencies that I don't feel like naming.
Stop it. Wait, make it stop.
We got it. All right.
Don't sue me
We'll
for libel.
Okay, we're stopped.
So,
Listen,
he
Yeah?
acknowledged that other space agencies exist,
Uh-huh.
but he doesn't know what they are.
To other.
Also, but however, wait, he did do that. He recognized there's not just NASA, but
Yes,
then he
but-
then failed in 2 seconds later failed to recognize that there's more than one government.
But he's
Remember, he has the attention
with the space
span of toast,
agencies.
and is
You know,
pretty much running his neuron on full boil.
you know what he did with the other space agencies, NASA and other space agencies. He made him into the Professor and Marianne. All the other space agencies
there
are.
we go.
All the other space agencies are, and the rest. So that's
NASA et al.
and the rest.
Actually, what about the Soviet space agency? The old Soviet space agency had the jump on us for quite some time, and they've still got a healthy. And the Russians still have a working and functional space program.
Indeed.
Wait,
well,
we haven't
Unlike
checked
Sai,
States at this point.
Well,
Sai, I just got one question.
Yes?
Who's Gilligan out of this mess then?
Oh,
Hey, that was a good.
yeah.
I'll take wrong
Passes
way. You're
in
I'll take-
almost every respect.
I will take wrong way Feldman. Yes, I am showing my knowledge of this old show. And
Wow.
I'm 28.
Somebody's
Great
got
show.
somebody's got Nick at
So
Night.
far, you're knocking out of the park right now, dude.
I watch it all the time. Hey, Mary Ann was awesome. She was from Kansas.
Absolutely.
Even better in color.
Listen, if we were to
In
spend
color.
If we were to spend the next 30 minutes talking about Gilligan's Island or how you found it on streaming, what services have it? Do they have it in HD? How is it exactly that they can build like a radio and stuff? I feel like that would be a more scientifically educational thing.
The geography of Gilligan's Island would be out Jaronism.
Hey, the professor created batteries on the island, did all kinds of stuff like that, so scientific knowledge in there. And I don't watch the streaming. I have the entire season 1, 2, and 3 DVD set.
Wait, hold on, Cap. We don't need any of that. We just get RJ to start reciting.
I could do Thurston Howell the Third.
That's
no, RJ, we know.
Damn accurate.
Hold on.
We'll put tornado. We'll put tornado on Ginger.
Serious question, RJ.
Just Ginger.
Wait,
RJ, what's the Patreon goal that we need to hit in order to have you reenact every episode of Gilligan's Island where you play all of the parts?
All of them.
Every episode. Because listen, I'm not rich at all, but I know a couple of people that have money, and they are also not rich. But I feel like if we put it together and buy a bunch of lottery tickets, we can make this happen. If God exists, God will give me the money to pay you to make that. I am so into this.
Well, let's not make it. Let's make it a little more doable. Not every show. Let's pick 5 favorites.
What?
Let's pick 5
Wrong
favorites.
Way Feldman. You
Okay.
gotta have Wrong Way Feldman.
All right, you know, let's do that
that's
in
like
a.
asking me to pick my favorite finger. No, I'm not going to do it. Every episode.
Picking your
Doorknob
favorite finger.
reminds us the pug is staring down the government.
That he is. All right, you know what?
Wait,
Let's
drink. That analogy.
I actually had,
wait.
I
He'll
had a
have
legitimate question about Jaronism, and I've forgotten it because all I'm doing is visualizing RJ in his apartment at 3 o'clock in the morning, reenacting every Gilligan's Island from memory alone. No script.
Oh God! I actually didn't watch most of the Gilligan's Islands because they were so terribly stupid at the time. So I'm sorry on that. Now we can find 9,000. And the robot lost in space dropped on the island. Then I think we got it.
Probably the robot.
Little buddy. I don't do good, Skipper boy.
All right.
Robbie the robot versus the robot from both of them were designed by the same guy, you know.
Still a better love story than
Japanese,
Twilight.
Industrial designer.
You guys are doing the best you can to avoid having to go on to another video, aren't you? That's what I just figured out. What you guys are up to.
You got it. You got it. We haven't had.
Is it another Jaronism video?
We got.
No,
Wait,
Sai.
is there a video after this?
Oh, we have.
We're having a genuine conversation. We're not just biting our tome.
We actually have several to choose from. We have.
Gilligan's Island was a NASA hoax, Jim Adams says.
We have one by. You know what? Why don't we let Jaron finish? We'll see if there's anything after the government here, and then we'll talk about what we got next.
Listen, I'm not convinced
I
that
will
if we
read
let
it
this...
portentously.
Yeah, all right, here, and I'll cut down the volume because it's just crap.
The government,
Here we go.
not any particular government, not like
Television
the United
program.
States and other governments. Also, by the way, no, it's just the government.
This world is run
by
evil and sadistic men.
Or the government, if you are from the
So women. Okay, Jaronism is saying women can't be sadistic.
I'm a search free to join me. That's what he
You are
says.
free to join me.
Okay, and
Hold on, drink.
I think
Wait, hold
Tornado
on.
had
Is
a drink.
Jaronism saying that? Hold on, wait. Is Jaronism saying that women can't be sadistic rulers too?
He completely excluded women from the world Illuminati.
Catherine
whatever.
the Great, you know.
I got one question. Is Jaron saying he runs the world? Because he said it's run by evil, sadistic men. Is he one of the ones who do it? Because, I mean, he has to be sadistic with the crap he puts out for people to watch.
That's true.
Go ahead, Tornado.
Tornado, before you explode, go ahead and remember the magic word. Go ahead.
The only truth you're on a search for is the one inside your shiny brown chakra.
Okay. Then, there we
I
go.
said that much calmer this time.
You did.
It's
Nice
shiny
work.
because it's well used.
Brown chakra.
Nice work. Okay. And last couple of seconds. He's on a search for truth. We're free to join him. Unless he announces his experiments 30 seconds before they happen, so we don't have any time to get there.
Oh, by the way,
yes.
What did he end up ever releasing about his laser tests?
As far as I know, nothing.
Oh joy! Thank God.
I'm gonna have to.
Well, he
I'm gonna have to
modified
go-
it once, and now it's just gone off the wayside somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I have the energy to debunk it.
No,
Also,
Can I make a small comment on what we see on the screen here?
Oh, please do.
Yeah, I was actually about to.
Just because he says, "I'm on a search for truth. You're free to join me. You're set for life." Just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, I was kind of going to expand on that as
Punch
well.
him in the face because he's an idiot.
Okay, please expand.
Well, so telling somebody that they are free to join you on a search for truth after they watched what I can only assume was a 3-hour-long video he made is kind of redundant. That's like me saying that, like, you can, follow me down this path after we've gotten to the end of the path. Like, they're watching your video, dude. They have already joined you.
The joining has occurred. You should have said that at the beginning, so people could decide not to.
You have to give him credit that he puts this up at the end, because by watching this video, and him asking you to join him, at least you know he needs help.
Yeah.
As if we didn't gather that from the
Jeranism
video.
is to truth as marmoset poop is to particle accelerators.
Hmm. All right.
Oh,
Sure.
Marmoset poop's
I
probably
don't-
more
I don't get
accurate
it.
than anything Jaron's done.
All right, there it was. It definitely was. And
Whoop, Jeranism.
all right.
I think we should
Just some-
start a GoFundMe site. I
Yes.
don't know if you can set that up so that we can buy that steam powered rocket and then give that to Jaronism and then launch him in it. Wouldn't that be a
Okay.
good idea?
That might
See if
work
it
out.
explodes on its way up.
Let's yeah.
And
that
we
would.
should and we
Here,
should
boy, I'm out of the bucket, pal. Here, I would like to give you a free ride in this brand new rocket. Oh, just step in there. Yes, pull the little red lever. Pull it now, boy.
Indeed.
and we should launch
You know,
and
Jaronism,
and just
I don't think it's going to be enough.
I don't
think
he'd explode on the way up. I think it'd just explode.
so just for
If we
safety
have it
reasons,
on a
we should
live
launch
feed,
him.
I tell you, that would be one hell of an audience show, wouldn't it?
Indeed.
You know,
Just for safety.
probably
Guys,
bypass Steam and go with hypergolics. They work better.
For safety reasons, we should launch him from a boat in the middle of the ocean, and right after the launch, we should tell the captain of the boat to get the hell out of there.
Wait a second. Can I call drink
Well, you
on
can't-
that statement? Can I call drink on that?
You can call drink on anything you like.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Go ahead.
You're
give
talking about
SpaceX
sending
back.
somebody up in a. You're talking about sending somebody up in a steam-powered rocket,
Yes.
and then you preempt a statement by saying for safety reasons.
Yeah.
Hey,
For safety of
Yeah,
the
because
boat.
we
Oh,
want to
safety
make
of the
sure
boat.
all
It's not
OSHA
him, the boat.
regulations are maintained in our steam-powered rocket.
Yes. No. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we
gotcha.
can give flat earthers rides to space. Duct tape to the hull.
Here's a question: when is that steam-powered rocket launch actually scheduled again? Is that supposed to happen?
I believe it is, yes, but don't quote me on that. I personally think we should be using the F1 engines and
Oh,
piling on
yeah,
the
it's from
hypergolics.
Russian times. It's supposedly 1 day ago.
Yeah, it's
I'm still
Oh,
looking for the
no.
Caterite system.
All right.
Russia
And-
today.
Anyway, here's
a Sai.
yes.
I got to point out Ray Rod's comment.
Oh,
I
please
remember
do.
the old times of movie night. They could get through an hour video in one night. Now 15 minutes. Is the best.
15 minutes is the best we can do. Yeah, I tell you. I tell you,
It's
back in the
like-
day, we used to we could see 2 hours of shows every night, but now
The good old days.
Sai,
All right,
the
so-
tone pumps are still going. What have you started?
I'd like to say it's not my fault, but it's son of a bitch. It's my fault. All right. Okay. Guy
Just
Fawkes
wanted to
says
hear
it's
that.
sometimes this month. We'll have to look into that because I wonder if it actually is scheduled. It's actually going to happen. God damn it! Isn't that something we should go see? I mean, at least one of us, and by one of us, oddly enough, I suspect Hill is going to trick me into doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think we should see
Okay,
that?
Sai.
Yes.
If you're going to go see that launch, then come get me. I'll keep you company.
I wouldn't want if it is in any way possible to get there. If it's announced in time, I think we should do so because that's something I definitely don't want to miss. Anyway, all right.
It's on my side of the continent, so you
Sai,
can get me on the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sai, can I add to that? I think
okay.
you should do it because we all know that you have a Jeep and it will be a launch in terrain. So when he is once launched, you can look where he's going and
Get
make
the hell
sure
out of there.
make sure you can film the landing.
I'm not going to go spoon him up. No, I'm not cleaning up that splat.
and remember,
Not
if we're
cleaning
putting
up. You
jism
should
on
film
it.
it and live stream it.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
No. You know what would happen? If I live stream that, you know what's going to happen? The same thing as that jackass that did the guy the suicide person in the forest. That's what's going to happen. And it was wrong for him to do it, and it would be it would be wrong for us to do it.
That's a monetization from a thing that says Jism Tracker.
Oh, wow, RJ.
Wow,
Jesus.
my mind just went right to the gutter.
Apparently, it's tomorrow. I don't know if we can get. I don't. Where?
Get down to the side we need so the rest of us can float by.
Where's the launch? It's Guy Fawkes says it's tomorrow.
Si, we need you to do this because when he lands, you need to walk up to it, and you have to or when he lands, you need to walk up to him, look down, and then look in the camera and just say, "He's right. It's flat."
Nice.
That would be the ultimate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There was a joke. I gotta find it. There was a really good tone pun. I gotta find it.
Oh, that's what we need.
Yeah, Drafty Master said a while back. It kind of got my eye earlier as it was scrolling to the top. It says, "How much tone was spent on puns?"
Yeah, over an hour. Definitely over an hour. All right. Next up, yes,
I got to ask you, how are people liking the HAL 9000 answering machine?
So I have it set up to depending on what time they call me. If they call me during business hours, it's just me yelling, so they don't leave a message. If they call me after, and that's a true story, if they call me after business hours, then they get your thing. And literally only 2 of my friends have gotten the message. Everybody else is like super confused by it, and so they think they're leaving a message.
Oh, that's even better that they don't get the joke.
Listen, you have no idea how fun it is for me to wake up in the morning and hear a voicemail where somebody says, Hal, I was calling for Otto, so and then leave a message addressed to Hal.
You're giving him an unintentional intelligence test right off the bat.
Look at Fino's question. Look at Fino's question. Next up, we're not at the time for Sunday Science.
That seems to be happening when watching a Jaron show.
Yes.
Just a question. What's our next video?
Next, we are doing, and it's only a 17-minute video from Mr. Thrive and Survive.
Ooh.
It's amazing. He actually has amazing in all caps with 2 exclamation points in the beginning. Amazing.
It's got to be important.
I hope I'm doing it justice when I say it. Moonlight experiment, repeatable. So, like, we could play it twice. I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
I've actually got material prepared for this
finding out how I can pull things down with my moonlight.
It's got to be the cooling moonlight, and this I suspect I have some suspicion that when we're done with it, Mark may have some evidence that might refute some of his nonsense. Maybe might have something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I was having so much hope.
Yeah,
I may have something to present.
Yeah. I think he got all crazy and went out and was sciencing and stuff. You know, guys do that every once in a while. All right, shall we bring it on?
Hi.
Yes.
So what's
the pug says, "Bring it on."
Okay.
What's the title of this video? I'm kind of curious.
The title of this, I just said it. It's Amazing Moonlight Experiment, Repeatable. It's really that.
Are you sure, Si? Are you sure that's not an instructional video how to make whiskey deep in the woods somewhere?
It's not moonshine.
It sounds like an old Frank Sinatra too. Moonlight, it's repeatable.
All right, so Mark, am I correct in that we'll blow through the video first, and then and we may kill it right in the middle if it's too stupid. We've done that before. Yeah. And then we'll
when he's
blowing the moonlight,
explain his instrument, I may stop it and explain how his instrument actually works.
Okay, that's cool.
I got 2 questions for you. We're still going with if the mic is muted. That's just we don't got anything to say.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Or you don't have to. Or you don't have to. You can just say pass.
Yeah, I was just thinking this is a little out of my expertise area. We cover where I'm intelligent on, and after that, we're out of it. But 2, how can you call this is too stupid? We just watched Jaronism and made puns for an hour.
That's true. He is setting a new benchmark for stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And where the hell is the? Let's see. I gotta find the video. Where the hell is
Yeah,
it?
Jaron was pretty bad. Maybe we shouldn't have done Jaron first.
By the way, Hillel's not responding.
Hill, wait a minute. Wait.
Idiots doing math here. Rangerman, let's see. 17 minutes, Einstein dilation. Carry the 3. I get Tuesday morning at 6:13. Sorry.
I just saw that one. I was getting ready to say something. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right for where we should end.
Okay, here's a problem. Okay, you guys talk amongst yourselves. I can't find the video.
Well, darn.
Wait, you say talk amongst yourselves.
What have we been doing?
Well,
Yeah.
do it.
I'll
do
ask
it more.
Cap, I'll ask Cap how far he's gotten in fog. That's I can stick that in to cover some time.
I actually haven't. I have not picked fog back up. I've been meaning to. But I did show that illustrated one you showed me, and I am now, thanks to you, I am the coolest friend ever. So
I'm glad
thank
she
you.
likes it. Yes.
Yes. She's, she said, "Oh, I'm gonna just start reading it. I'm gonna read. I'm not just, it's." Yeah, so I am now the coolest friend ever. So
I just dropped a link in it in the chat.
Oh, you did? Damn it, you're just cool. That's what you are.
Yeah.
Also, Hill's not responding.
All right, hold off. We'll get to him. Yeah, I know what you're.
He's on the keyboard again.
Hold on. We'll take care of the Hill thing. 1 second, and here we go. Okay, if everybody's ready, let's do the check first. Hill, are you alive? Hearing nothing. Oh my God! You guys killed Hill!
You
bastards!
You bastards!
Right. Very good.
There you go.
And here's the video. It is found, and let us bring it up. Here. First let me.
Pino.
Uh-oh.
This has gone down a hill.
Oh my God. That's enough of that foolishness.
Hi everyone, Rasmus for Thrive and Survive.
That's hilarious.
2015. And this is an experiment I did. I wanted to share it with everybody who is with me on this, as far as looking at earth science and different things like that. And I haven't touched too much of the moon lately, but we are getting there. Some of the questions I'm asking
Well, it's kind of far away to touch.
pertain to
But
the
anyway,
moon.
Drink.
They seem to be only pertaining to the sun.
Drink call already? Sorry, go ahead.
He hasn't touched the moon, but he's getting there. How?
Steam rocket. Weren't you listening before?
Oh, sorry.
Long fingers.
Clearly, he's building this
a chair.
Line.
All right.
Oh,
here we go.
Yeah, we're talking over. My bad.
These things happen. All right, let's do. You know what? If there seems to be more than one comment, let's do the list. Tornado. Anything or pass?
Well, actually, I was going to say if I end up falling asleep, you guys can go, oh my God, we killed Tornado.
You bastard! Okay, we'll keep that in mind.
No, we just.
You should do it for both me and Hill.
To Oz.
All right,
you
Cap.
just went to Oz, Tornado. Don't worry.
All right, Cap. You got anything to add or pass?
No, I might have something later when he gets into more something that I might be able to say something on.
All right, RJ. Anything? Pass.
Well, I'm just trying to anticipate. I think he's going to use a chair bent over on its side or a coffee table and some piece of paper and an exceptionally bright moon outside and a variety of whips or long worms or something. So I'm really looking forward to this experimental layout.
Actually, all I can say in response to that, is all this makes me think of is with the chair that you mentioned, if it were in that position, and those squiggly lines next to it are not actually squiggly lines, is the rope broke. That's what this image says to me. That's okay. That's awful. That's awful.
So we're going to be doing science here.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, no, a very relevant image following a Jaron.
Quick big quotes around experiment and science.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can I add a little bit?
Oh yeah,
A little bit.
Go ahead.
as a graphic designer, I need to point this out. I mean, the incredible detail he put in the tree and the street light. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, the
I
guy's
haven't
an
seen
artist.
this in the preschoolers that my niece has at her Montessori school.
Indeed. All right. And
this is the crayon poop drawing.
So
Yes, there we go.
all right.
And there's dark light. We've even got words.
Yes. And a 2-syllable word. All right, here we go. Moving on.
Yeah.
Fun, for example, and some other things, but I'm always thinking ahead as much as I can to answer questions before we even get there. All right, so I think I mentioned before in the video that it's very difficult for anyone to find out the properties of moonlight versus the properties of sunlight. I mean, Google it. You're going to be surprised. I'm not saying it's not out there, but very little is out there. Now, one of the things I did here was that supposedly, well, we know in sunlight that if you put something in the sun and measure its temperature, it will be cooler. I'm sorry, it would be warmer, much warmer than if you put it in the shade. Okay, that's one of the properties of sunlight. Likewise, if you have a piece of ground, or let's just say you had a square piece of paper and you fastened it to the ground, and the sun and shade were half and half on the paper, the shady side would be much cooler on the paper than the sunny side. Now, I'm not telling anything, any new secret, I hope, to anybody out there. However, what I have heard and read is that moonlight has totally different properties than the sun, which I believe anyway. The sun is warm and yellowy type of light, and the moon reflects a silvery, cool type of light.
Okay, all right.
It's orange juice.
Okay, go ahead. There was a drink called.
Yeah, it's
Mark?
the light coming from the moon is the same light coming from the sun, obviously, because it's reflected.
Mm-hmm.
But the moon's surface, only depending on which material you're looking at, is in about 12 to 15% reflectance.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's scattered in all kinds of different directions. So what actually hits us is just very minute percentage of the sunlight that actually hits the moon.
Yeah,
so
and the warmy part gets absorbed by the moon.
It's not intense enough to cause any kind of warming, but it's the same light. That's all I was going to throw in.
And as far as I know, there's different frequencies, but I only know one kind of light. It's a bunch of photons heading in a similar direction. That's what you get.
It's only 15% of it actually gets reflected by the surface, and then it's getting reflected in so many different directions.
You mean the moon's albedo?
And then the moon's, so far away from us that the amount of light that hits us, even though it's bright enough that we can see and walk around in it, it's still an infinitesimal percentage of what we get directly from the sun. But it's the same light.
The moon gets warmed up by the infrared that hits it, and so very little of that could be reflected back because there's no atmosphere or anything else. So all you're getting is just the stuff in the visual spectrum.
Guys?
Indeed.
I'll show you
Let
a
it go,
picture.
Tornado.
I believe what is...
You're wrong.
Guys? I believe what is being referred to here is the albedo.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, Mark. Are you saying that, these people don't understand some basic factual, things? Like,
I know.
Like they seem to fail to grasp this?
Shocking, isn't it?
About light reflection, and refraction and things along those lines?
You have to keep in mind. Cap,
I'm missing something in the chat.
Let it go.
Cap,
all right.
You have to keep in mind.
Let us. Let's get to the
Cap.
assertions here.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Cap, you have to keep in mind. What he's saying is actually true.
What?
Because there is a big difference. Have you noticed that the moonlight is different on a new moon than it is on a full moon?
Yes, I have actually noticed that.
It's extremely different.
Yes.
So you never see that happen with the sun.
Just because there's less of it reflected back at us.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
I gotta look.
What are we looking?
I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So there's apparently a little argument going on in the chat. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay, I gotta ask, Cap, were there any words in that paragraph? Because I was unable to extract any. All right, you know what? Let's move on with the video and see what we got.
Yeah, sorry, I was talking to myself on that. Sorry.
Here we go.
Is how it's described. And I don't know how one could turn into the other, but supposedly one of the tests is that it is it's the opposite of the sun. Whereas if you put the moon, put an object in moonlight, it will actually be cooler in the light than it is in the shade. All right. Moon, when it's full or
okay, interesting
mostly full,
assertion.
will cast shadows, especially if you live in an area where you don't have too much light pollution from cities. So I'm outside walking my dog Charlie tonight, and I'm looking.
What do you got, Tornado?
Apparently, this guy has never heard of radiative cooling or radiative warmth. Because if an object is in shade, it means it's being surrounded by that object, which means the object is going to be giving off the heat it's collected during the day, which means the object in the shade during the moonlight issue is going to be warmer than one left out in the open, because the thermal camera left out in the open is receiving less radiant heat.
Right. I've got a demonstration of something that will show what we'll show that, but I'd like to get further on so we see exactly what his setup.
I'm interested in seeing that. So far he's just talking theory. Let's see some of his practice and see if it passes the test. Here we go. Oh, I have no doubt.
Up at the moon and looking also at the coming up conjunction. I hope I didn't miss it. Can anybody tell me when the conjunction of Venus and Jupiter is? I do not believe that was the same thing that caused the wise men from the east to go to Bethlehem, supposedly, and I can get into that in another video. But in any case, that will be a spectacular conjunction. If I haven't missed it, I hope I haven't missed it. So if anybody knows what date that is, let me know, please, because I definitely want to catch that. In any case, back to this. I'm walking my dog, Charlie, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm in the moonlight now, so am I cooler than if I go into the shade? And of course, the human body can be tricked with something like that. But then I remembered that I got this device at Home Depot that measures the temperature to 1/10 of a degree using a green laser light. What you do is you take the laser and you shine it onto an object. I'm going to show you that here. Try to anyway.
Cool.
Here you go. Here's one right here. This is showing a red laser. It doesn't matter. It uses infrared, and it gives you, this one's in Celsius, I can tell here, but it gives you to the 1/10 of a degree, either Celsius or Fahrenheit. They're really pretty cool with it. You can tell where there's even just a slight air leak in your vents and things like that, like where the air conditioning is coming out.
The laser actually is only a pointer. The thing is measuring the average infrared of a spot.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll get into that in a minute. And and that spot gets bigger the further away you are from where you're measuring.
Indeed.
And some of the cheap ones that are like $20 have like a 1:6 spot ratio. So like 6 inches away, the spot will be 1 inch around. At 10 feet, the spot will be, over like 2 feet.
Indeed. And as far as I know, many of these devices are,
come up in here.
As far as I know, many of these devices are susceptible to incidental, like getting.
Yes.
So that's which can be from an angle off of target.
Anything that that has any reflective value at all will just an infrared thermometer is completely useless on.
Indeed. All right.
I mean, completely useless.
I have another question. I'm awake now for approximately 20 hours now. But he mentioned using a green laser. Can I say this is the most amazing shade of green I've ever seen?
I know, right?
Yeah, a green laser that emits a long wavelength infrared. Yeah.
Well, it must be a moon. It's a moon laser. It's different light. Remember, he told us that. How could you guys miss that?
Well, at least, Sai, I have to thank you for this, because I've already learned something. Because I'm not the best guy on the panel, but at least I've learned now that when there's a full moon, I step outside, go into the moonlight, and I'll actually be cool.
Ah.
Just wanted to put that out.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
So, yeah, except there's one tiny problem with this. I know we haven't gotten to it in the video, but
you're going to
someone
ruin
on the
it for
panel
me,
might-
right, Cap?
Yeah,
Cap,
sorry.
you're going to ruin this for me, right?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to.
I can't be cool.
You're
I can't be
cool.
No,
Relax.
You can be cool in other ways.
Wear your sunglasses
And I'm
at
sure
night.
someone on the panel can.
That's cool.
And I was gonna say, and I'm sure someone on the panel can explain this better than I can. I have a rudimentary understanding of this, so if I screw up, I'm sorry. Call me out on it. Yeah, we've already touched on where my knowledge lies. Beyond that, I'm kind of out of it, but it has something to do with like the trapping of heat. That a lot of times it's a lot warmer next to the buildings due to the trapped heat. Same with the reason of the shade, where it just holds on to the heat, and that's why it. Part of the reason why that works, as well as the laser being not accurate type thing. There's if I'm wrong, correct me.
You're right. I mean, that's kind of
Okay.
simple, but that's all in my wheelhouse. And
Okay, yeah, that's most all that I know on this
Sai,
subject.
point of order, please.
Oh, okay, Squirrel. What do you got?
The word you were looking for a couple of minutes ago was albedo.
Okay.
0 absorbs all light, 1 reflects all light. Yeah, because that will screw up a laser, an infrared thermometer every freaking time.
Okay, yeah.
Well, we have a problem solved in the chat because the shade of the color green, Rangerman just put it out there. That's due to the redshift.
Oh,
the
that's
laser
what it is.
is moving away from us, so that's why the color is a little bit off.
I'm glad that's cleared up. All right, let's move on and watch him experiment for us. Here we go.
It allows you to
you
plug
watch him
those
fail?
up. It's a lot more energy
Something like
efficient.
that.
But it works inside and outside, and surprisingly at really long distances. I was really surprised at that. But in any case, let's go back to my experiment.
Okay.
Okay, so I decided to try this out for myself. Okay, and I went out back on my deck.
Okay, I got to ask, do any of you guys suspect this is like CGI? All right, let it go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not his deck.
Yeah.
CGI.
That tree is definitely CGI.
He's doing a very good depiction of a sodium vapor arc lamp, though.
Yes,
I agree.
Here we go.
I think it's not
This is all
CGI,
done
it's
in
KGI. Kindergarten generated image.
Nice. Okay, here we go.
Which is,
And I think there's a
pool deck around
pterodactyl
a
that's flying up to the moon.
swimming pool, and you're going to see it's very hard to tell because it's at night that I did this with an iPhone, and unfortunately, of course, the clarity isn't that good. Plus, it's at night, but you're going to see me looking over the wall. I have a wall that's behind me.
Another brick in the wall.
Okay, Brian Stevens says only if the C in CGI is crayon.
And there's a tree that I show you in the background. You can't see the tree really, I don't think, but you'll see a light glowing roughly this color, and that's below the moon. You have the moon up high, and then down below you have the street light, unfortunately for night viewing of the stars. However, I do have a tree which is now grown up large enough outside of my wall that goes across here also. So the pool deck, which is represented here in the lines here. Let me make that a little bit more clear too. Okay, normally back east I would just use green here for grass, but we don't have grass here. So I'm just indicating purple to indicate that's the ground, which in my yard happens to have rocks in it.
Purple rocks.
And the purple over here.
I wonder if they came out of his head.
Which is going around the pool, which is off the picture on the side.
Like
All right.
a big pizza pie,
in any
it's
case,
an experiment.
so what I did was I took a table represented by this blue table here, and I turned it on its side. The moon wasn't quite high enough in the sky to where I couldn't get a decent long shadow out of it, so it cast a shadow on the deck.
Okay.
All right. Now this black square here, this indicates a wallet that I had in the house. And the wallet is sufficiently thick, so it should take
As opposed to the
long
wallets he
time
keeps outside.
before any temperature changes in the deck should interfere with the backside of the wallet. All right. So anyway, I opened the wallet up in the middle.
I'd like to call a drink.
Oh, please do. We have a drink call.
Yep. Not really a scientific observation, more of a prediction.
Okay.
I predict that this video ends with the final 3 minutes of him dressed as one of the Teletubbies singing "I'm a Barbie Girl" over two people behind him slamming phone books on pianos. That's
No, see, then that would
That
make it
I will
interesting
sit
and
still
entertaining.
for.
Okay.
Oh, there's an image I'll
That I
stick
want
with
to
you.
see.
I gotta say
See,
this.
Yeah,
If
Captain, what do
that
you got?
happens,
Yeah,
if that happens,
yeah.
I need your address so I can mail you all my therapy bills.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. And Squirrel?
Frank,
See, what do you got,
yeah.
Squirrel?
No, see here's his problem.
Yes.
His experiment is fatally flawed. Fatally flawed. Because the only way you would be able to determine whether or not the moon was generating cold light is to measure the moon directly.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll get to that.
Okay. But he's got a wallet which is probably leather, unfolded on the ground, half in the shade and half not. The ambient temperature is just gonna kick this wall the butt unless he had it in the house, and then it's gonna seem like it's warm. It's gonna cool down at the edges.
No, well,
and the middle is going to stay warm for a little bit longer, and then it'll all go away. Therefore, cold light from the moon.
To say he didn't adequately control for all the factors involved would be an understatement, but it's actually
it's more like he didn't control for the lack of brain cells.
Yeah, the problem with the experiment is actually worse than you're thinking. So,
all right, well, let's see. Let's see.
Didn't Michelson and Morley use a leather wallet in their tests for the speed of light? I mean, isn't this standard procedure?
Absolutely.
Mark, if you found a bigger problem, please enlighten me. I want to know this.
Let's wait and see. Let's see what the experiment entails. Here we go.
You'll see it's I've represented it as lighter over here because it's in the moonlight, and this side of the wallet is covered in the shade of the table here, laying on its edge. And what I did was I stood up, and you'll see in the video, at first I took the temperatures back here, but I was all over the place.
By the purple tree.
I was actually going on the wallet, off the wallet, all over the place because I was trying to focus it for you, the viewer, instead of looking at where the laser was going. And it was difficult to see, especially in the shaded area where it was, because as you'll see, all the unnatural light is actually filtered out. It really is pitch dark except for the moon in this spot where I picked. And on the other side, the other half of the wallet was in the moonlight.
Okay, we get it.
Okay. Now, if the theory is true that the moonlight is totally different than the sun, then the wallet should be cooler than the side that's actually in the shade, as crazy as that sounds. And that would, to me, show that there's no way that the moon is reflecting.
Oh, we have a drink call. Okay.
Yes. I just...
What do you got, Cap?
Does he not understand heat transfer, that when heat goes into an object, it generally tends to spread out through the object? So it would try to, further understand, kind of try and equalize that temperature between in the wallet, because it wants to try and maintain that relative temperature. Does he not understand any of that?
Well, let's see. We haven't gotten to
that's a good observation, but the problem is even worse than that.
Oh my!
God.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
to
like
see.
I said, this is beyond my expertise. So please, if you have more information on this, please enlighten me.
I will.
I'm going to hold it until we actually see the real pictures of the setup.
And Cap,
I got something to present.
Yeah, and Cap, all I'll say to you is, well, see, I haven't seen this before either, but I'm predicting that when you see the experiment, all of your statements about "I'm not qualified to," you're going to retract and say you're going to retract all of those and say, "I see what you screwed up. I see what you screwed up in your alleged experiment." All right, let's go on until he starts actually experimenting.
Like I said, this is the problem. A little beyond my expertise area of what I know, so I have a base understanding.
Got it. Well, you'll see. Your base understanding will. I predict will exceed the experimental quality to be seen here. Here we go.
I'm kind of thinking it might.
Moving on.
Sunlight, if its properties are that different, okay? I don't know how you can get something that reflects light that's warm. I mean, you take a mirror to the sun and reflect it, and whatever that sun shines on that's reflected is going to be hot. It's just the way it is. So anyway, This is I had to set this up because you're not going to know what you're looking at really because it's too dark. But let's start the video and maybe I'll pause it in places and give you some.
Wait a minute! I thought we started the video.
Details as to what's going on. But I got to tell you guys, unfortunately, and I got to get rid of this iPhone and move to an Android. It ran out of memory.
But he's warning us in advance.
So right at the end, it does cut off.
He's warning us of the dirt.
Guys, understandable. That was very kind of him.
It doesn't matter. I'll just explain what happened after that. So here we go with the video clip.
Okay, I don't know how well this is going to show. This is July 1st, 2015. And what you're seeing here is the moon. It's a little bit fuzzy because we have a little bit of high clouds. Actually, what's really interesting is right now there are no high clouds.
No, not at all.
Through this lens, it looks fuzzy to me. You can notice just to the top of the moon there's some clouds. And down here you'll notice there is a street light, and over to the right there's another street light. However, I don't know how well you can tell, but there is a wall that separates or that will block these street lights. And let me go ahead and show you that if I can find my flashlight here.
Which the neighbors are very happy to know that they have a wall between them and you.
We're going to do.
I love how he has to find his flashlight. You know, he knows he's shooting a video and knows he wants to show the wall, but now he's got to go look for his flashlight.
Indeed.
He didn't think about that ahead of time.
I wonder if Mexico paid for that wall. All right, here we go.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Here.
Taco Bell.
Okay. There's the moon. There's the light. Okay. Here's the brick wall. There's a little tree there too that also blocks the street light. But this wall is going to be shining down on this pool deck. Okay. And the pool deck is going to come over here to this thing, this little table.
Ooh, and there's the table.
And
That's
then
what
I
his
put a
crayon
black
generated
wallet
image was
on the ground here.
Got it.
And the wallet's been out here long enough to
there's the
be
wallet,
able to
That's
absorb
Saw it.
That's a
equally.
scientific
Now,
science
what we
experiment.
have is the winds are actually coming from this direction, right to left. So this is not in any way interfering with the wind or the atmosphere, whatever you want to call it, getting to the wallet. All right. Now I'm going to stand.
Wind or atmosphere.
Behind
Whatever you want to call it.
the wallet. Okay.
Logistic.
There it is. I'm not going to shine it long because I don't want any kind of influence on this light.
Convection,
Although it
it's
shouldn't
not
have
going to have
any
any
influence
effect
on
on
the
the heat
temperature.
transfer.
Okay. Now,
Oh,
just to
gosh,
the left half of this wallet, when I take this light off, is in moonlight. The right half of the wallet is in total shade. Okay.
Oh, okay, just to point.
Otherwise, known as the radiative heat source, right in line of sight with the whole wallet.
Yeah, and not a drink moment, but considering the amount of light reflected back by the moon, did his flashlight not just impart more energy than the cumulative moonlight? That if you left it,
In fact, probably there was more tides caused by the flashlight than there would be by the moon at the moment.
So that was
Sai.
Yes.
Are you really, really honestly expecting honesty, integrity, and just actual factual information from these guys?
Well, okay.
And here I thought I needed to lower my standard.
Who knows? Oh, you know what? RJ knows the exact phrase. RJ, what's the exact phrase for you shouldn't ascribe to dishonesty what can be explained by... What's the real phrase?
Or any variation on that. Never attribute to mendacity what can be accounted for by just being stupid.
That's it, and that's I believe. I don't think it's dishonesty here. I think it's the latter. And anyway, here we go.
The moon is full, and I have in my hands, hopefully this will show, a laser pointer, which gives you the temperature to the 10th of a degree. And as you can see on the deck, it's actually 98 degrees.
From the distance he is, that's probably measuring about a 2 or 3 foot diameter circle of that wall.
How did he get 98 degrees to play? How did he get 98 degrees to play his backyard?
Okay, he flies eggs out there during the night.
Okay, see, I think
he probably lives somewhere in the southern United States.
See, I think that was
shining on the wall all day.
See, I think that was a band. That was the joke. I think 98 Degrees used to be a band.
Yeah.
That's what.
That's
what made my statement slightly less unfunny. All right, here we go.
Well, I'm an old fart. I don't know guns.
Got it.
That was
not particularly good.
Oh, Jason got it. Thank you, Jason. Jason got the joke. 98 Degrees.
I don't know if he said it. I don't know if he mentioned it.
Sorry, can I add that I'm now at a completely at a disadvantage because I'm from the time where the 3 degrees was a thing. So.
All right, Mark, you had something.
Well, I don't think he said it in this video, but he's got another one he did. He actually literally thinks that his instrument is measuring the temperature of that spot that the laser hits. So he's never bothered to read the instructions, and usually those things have a sticker on the side that tells you about the distance to spot ratio.
Mm.
You know,
and he missed it.
And it's like they have no conception at all of what the tools they're using work. It's really funny to fit those of us that do know how the tools work.
And that is not a terribly complicated tool.
Rule number 5, that if you're trying to measure a wall from 40 feet away, the number you get will be crap.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I've got an instrument that can handle that.
And here we go.
8.5. Let me see how close I have to get for that to register. 98. See, I'm moving around a little bit. It changes a little bit. This is partially moonlit, partially street light lit, and partially in shade. Okay, but I just want to show you how this works. Okay, I shine the laser beam. See the laser I'm moving around, and it tells me the temperature. Here's my pool. It tells me that the pool temperature is 93 degrees. This is, I don't know, 9:30, 10 at night, and the pool is 93 degrees, and the deck is 98 roughly. So it shows you how hot it is here in Arizona. I don't know if you can see this cactus or not. The cactus is totally moonlit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to light it up so you can see that it's a cactus here. But this is in total moonlight. Hopefully that'll show a little bit. Probably not. But anyway,
I have heard
that the temperature of the moon...
Is he doing an experiment, or is he showing us his garden?
He's taking us on a tour so far.
I'm at a loss here.
This is worse than gardens.
And I want to know why the cactus wasn't in the initial drawing.
Well, there you see, we're not putting all the relevant variables here. You know, the radiative effect of your damn cactus could be completely screwing up your thing. How much light's reflecting off of the cactus onto that damned wallet?
Indeed. All right.
Listen, I have a legitimate question.
Okay.
Was this YouTube video a found footage thing? Like somebody raided a meth house and found where like it was an old 8mm camera tucked in the corner. They took the video off of it and put it on YouTube. Because if it's not, that means at a certain point in time, this guy watched this video and said, yeah, 45 seconds of darkness and me describing what I can see. Yeah, that's good for YouTube.
I think that's
using an iPhone.
This was the worst one of these movies where aliens come along, you know, and it's all done with handheld cameras. This was the worst trailer for that you could possibly imagine. So he decided to recycle it.
Listen, an iPhone rather than a proper camera. That's why we're not seeing anything.
All I'm saying is that now is a great time, Cy, for I think you should let me do a guest video on your channel. What I have done is I have taken water and I have turned it into pure, unadulterated 24 karat gold. But then it turns back into water almost, immediately. I filmed it all, but there were no lights. So
yes, understandable. We'll just accept it.
Is that the Rumpelstilt's foreskin effect?
Well, no. Last time I tried to upload one of those videos to YouTube, I got blocked.
Oh my!
Damn! It's part of the conspiracy of the penguins.
Got it. All right.
I'll be back.
Okay, Squirrel. We'll see you when you get back. And we have passed through 11 minutes of this nonsense, and there's only 17 minutes in total. He's going to get to his experiment soon. This should be very, very...
Oh, he's got 6 minutes to show us something other than dark.
And I suspect it's going to be...
You sure the rest of the video is just not him yelling in his backyard while his neighbors are just begging him to go to sleep?
You're not at the damn moonlight again, Harry. Stop it.
Nah,
sex orgy over here.
I know he's going to get to the experiment now, and I'm sure it's going to be very, very... I'll stop there. It's going to be very... Here we go.
So what you're saying
make things
is
cooler
he's
than
not
those
going
in
to
shade.
show us his deck
All right,
chairs
now, I've
and
had to
all
sit
the
down here
nice
long
flower
enough.
pots he has on there. That's not going to... Okay, so go ahead.
We'll see. Here we go.
And frankly, I don't know what I'm going to read, but we're going to point it at the dark side and the light side.
Read.
And if it holds true,
I don't know if you can read.
the moon should actually have the lit side of the wallet be cooler than the shaded side, which means that there's no way the moon is reflecting sunlight because it has totally different properties. Okay. Now I'm sure people can come up with a better way for me to
try to
test
use a
this,
spectroscope
and that's
or anything
fine.
like that.
No, that'd be crazy talk.
But maybe it's going to fail anyway. I don't know. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shine down. We're now on the right side of the wallet.
Shine on, harvest
I'm sorry, it's hard to look at both at the same time. Okay, I think I got it close enough for focus. Okay, the right side of the wallet. Make sure I'm on it. It's hard to see.
Pay attention
98.
to the behavior of the laser hitting the wallet as it goes. Keep playing it, but pay attention to the behavior of the laser as it hits the wallet.
Okay, here we go.
0.29, 99.8. Well, let's let it. Shoot, I came off. It's so hard to do this because I can't see. There's just
Because you're an idiot.
now I'm on the wallet right now. I'm going to watch that and not the screen.
Okay, he's on the wallet.
So let's let it. I'm moving a little bit. I'm going to try to be as steady as I can with the laser.
93 degrees. What a cold wallet. That's cold cash
95.
in there.
You can see how it's moving. It should not be moving that much. Let me see if I can get on top of it and really make it so it's steady.
Oh.
Okay, so we don't have all that variation. See, different parts of the wallet are giving me different temperatures, I guess. Good, 93.2.
Ooh, that's sort of
All right, now let's go to the other side of the
validity
wallet.
your experiment, isn't it?
Indeed. Hopefully there's going to be a conclusion to all this that makes everything that's going on now clear.
Well, that's a lot of variation over a little tiny wallet.
Really? Let's see. Yes?
I feel like it's necessary to remind everybody.
Yes?
Just real quick.
Can I congratulate you on your excellent optimism here that we're going to get an explanation?
I'm hoping.
I mean,
I'm hoping it's going to happen. Eat. What do you got?
I feel like that it's necessary to remind everybody that this guy watched this video and said, yeah, I'm going to leave all of my oops, I can't do this, hold on, let me try this again in the video, and then upload it to YouTube and said, okay,
for posterity.
And that's a convincing argument. I mean,
well, all right. Well, you know what? Maybe we should take it as more convincing because he's including the little mistakes as well. So if it was all perfect, we'd never believe it. Maybe that's what it is. Here, let's.
And there's another problem. 6 or 7 or 5 or something or other degrees different than the wall.
I will say that hold on. Mark's trying to get a word in. Go ahead, Mark.
I will say that the hope that there's a positive conclusion one way or the other to this is kind of a false hope.
Well,
that's true.
Optimistic.
Yes. Yeah, could be.
I can solve your problem regarding the video because he's using an iPhone and Windows Movie Maker doesn't work on an iPhone, so he can't work the video.
Got it. All right.
That's depressing.
Let's let him wave
I'm just saying that, like, after watching videos like this, how many views did this video get?
I didn't even look.
Good question.
This is the quality of flat Earth
curiosity. I wonder if the number of views equals the temperature of the wallet.
Listen, for an entire week, all next week, every email I write at work, I'm not going to hit the backspace key once. If I fuck up, I'm going to be like, oh, damn, my bad, and then keep typing. Every script rewrite is going to be the exact same thing. So it's just going to be nonstop me like, why can't I type today? I need more coffee. Okay, I'm back. Where was I? And then just keep typing it out. Every email is just going to be nonstop stream of consciousness. It's just going to...
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, let's let him continue his experiment and tell us why he's pointing at the dog and the whatever. Here we go.
Look at that. It's cooler. It's cooler in the moonlight. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable. That's a song too.
It's coming back up again. Now I'm going to pan over to the lit side. Oh my, this is amazing. This is amazing. And anybody can do this. Anybody.
and unfortunately, that's where my iPhone ran out of memory. Guys, when I got to this point,
I love this guy.
I had.
Oh dear! I'm afraid ran out of memory quite a while ago.
That's time to guzzle a drink. Now that you've seen the quote experiment, it's time to guzzle a drink.
All right,
And,
I would say so. So it never.
You know, poor old Newton.
I haven't done this before, but if you
how
can
to do an
present me,
experiment.
Hold
compared to
on,
this.
hold on, Mark. What do you got?
Si, if you can present me, I will show what.
Gotcha.
What
Well,
happens here?
you got to hold on. Yeah, let's get. You got to share your screen.
Before we do, and I do.
What?
Before we do, I want to just unsarcastically.
That will be such
I will
a
cheers.
All right,
this guy.
eat. What do you got?
Oh, crap, where was it?
Eat.
Oh,
What do you
sorry.
got?
I was just gonna say that I will unsarcastically cheers this guy. I have almost a full beer here, a chocolate peanut butter porter, and this one's for you, real American hero. And I do not say that phrase ever. This
Nice.
guy right here, this guy, my new hero.
All righty.
What's his name? I'm getting it tattooed on my leg.
Mark.
All right. All right.
Yes.
Mark, you present your screen, and then you share your screen, and then I'll present you, and then I'll do the whatever the hell it is I do here, and everything will be great. I see you presenting. Cool. It's coming up. Hold on. Let me do the Sherry thing. Yeah. Hold on. Let me do the. There's that. Now I can see it. Now don't say anything and don't start till I switch over so everyone else can see it. There. Now everyone else is seeing what you're doing.
Do you see my horribly messy hobby desk?
Indeed.
You see the wallet?
Do in fact.
That's just a decent quality top grain leather wallet that I've had for about 2.5 years, so it's not even as shiny as new. But you notice you can see a little bit of reflection of these glasses. That's going to be real important. This is a glass of hot water. This is a glass of cold water.
Okay.
This is a thermal image of that. This is actually taken with the FLIR B360 thermal imaging camera that I use for building investigation. If you notice something here, let me do a couple of tools. Showing a hot spot. This shows the hottest spot on that line, and this shows the coldest spot on that line.
Cool.
Neat. And up here, the hottest spot is 28.7 degrees Celsius. The coldest spot is 18.2. It's not going to be anywhere near the temperatures that we get from the glass that's reflecting off the glasses because the reflectivity. I know in science, in like actual science, y'all use different terms, but in my trade, we use things like emissivity and reflectivity. The lower reflectivity something is, the more emissive it is, and the higher the reflectivity, the less emissive it is. And reflection just means what it reflects, and emissive what it's better able to not only absorb infrared energy, but also to emit it.
Gotcha.
So usually a black surface is the best thing for absorbing and emitting infrared radiation. But if it's got any reflectivity to it, some will reflect. And that's what's happening with this wallet. So you got the cold here and the hot here. And in case anybody was like, well, it's just a setup. They've been sitting there long enough to heat up the things. I switched them around and immediately took another picture without any time for it to warm up. So that's what's going on with this wallet. It's reflected infrared. You might have seen other videos where they were using an IR gun on aluminum foil. You notice the colors here in this palette? If we do this line
really well.
Yeah, aluminum foil really reflects infrared energy really well. Who would have thought? Now, if you notice the line 1, the max is 51.7, told us is 6.7. And then line 2, that's the actual things that are emitting and absorbing heat. They're pretty close.
Yes.
And if I played around with the lines, I could get them probably within half a degree. The camera that I'm using, it's only 320 by 240 resolution, thermal resolution, which I mean it's a $12,500 building science camera, and that's what you get is 320 by 240.
We're gonna need a GoFundMe.
But it's got complete thermal data for each pixel. Whereas those IR guns that you point, it'll take an average of a whole area. So they're not even in anything that gets any radiative source will reflect off of things. And there's even some things online where they use crumpled aluminum foil, and you can see you get the same thing, although you'll get things going all over the place. But the reason, and then like his video, he's got a video where he actually points the IR gun at the moon. But the reason you get the colder light reflecting off, let's see if I do. This is of the waxing gibbous moon not long ago. Well, I guess I should have left. Let me do this line tool again. So you look at the spots. The max is like 89.6 degrees Celsius, and the minimum is minus 40. Minus 40 is the lower limit of the camera that it'll display. It's actually much colder because it's space.
It's radiating. It's radiating near zero.
Yeah, you think about that. Word is everything's radiating to space. But you think about the IR gun, pointed at the moon that these guys like to do, and then they say, "Oh, why do I get this really low temperature?" It's because if your distance to spot ratio, even if it's a halfway decent gun that's like 20-1, where it's 1 inch per 20 inches, if you're pointing it at the moon, you're still talking about a cone that makes a spot thousands of miles in diameter.
Yeah.
And they're expecting the moon to make any freaking difference.
I have a quick question. What was that thing you just touched on? You said the distance to spot ratio. I'm sorry.
Yeah, those little IR guns have distance to spot ratio rating.
So that means that the further you are away, the bigger a cone.
The bigger the cone is, and whatever the end of that cone hits is the diameter of the spot that it's measuring.
And that's what it averages.
And it's the average of the whole thing. Unlike a thermal camera where I get radiometric data, all the thermal data for every pixel. They're getting an average of the whole giant cone.
So okay, so
see that like this is the.
So somebody. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, this is the waxing gibbous moon. You see, it puts that little spot right where the hot spot is, right in the center where the sun's shining it. And it's 91.7 degrees Celsius. Now, that's not going to be the actual temperature because this is the IR is filtered through the atmosphere, so the atmosphere is affecting it. But the moon was nearly overhead for this shot, so that was minimizing it. But I can do things like play with different color palettes. This is a pretty good one for looking at the moon, looking at the hot spot. That's the fun thing with having all the. Yeah, there's another that really shows the hot spot. But yeah, all these retards are running around with these little $20 guns and pointing around. They have no idea how the instrument works.
And just to be clear, the kind of stuff. Oh, go ahead. You go.
Well, because and this is just me as your average window licker, that when I see somebody point that thing, it goes click and beep beep, and then I see the laser, right? I think that it's measuring the point of the laser. But what you're saying is that depending on how far away you are, it's actually measuring it like a cone.
Yeah.
So that if you're really far away,
the only thing
what it's actually,
yeah,
even though that they've got the laser on that wallet, it's actually measuring the ambient temperature
cone of
around the wallet.
And stuff
Yeah.
around
Well,
it,
it's
which is
measuring
averaging. And yet the wall,
the average of all the surface areas of that spot.
and the wall,
And then that is being affected by radiant heat that's reflecting off of the wallet. So you're actually getting, not just getting radiant heating of the wallet, you're actually literally measuring some of the, you're actually measuring some of the wall temperature. And like with this little thing with the table there, the thing that was causing the shade was something that the IR radiation hitting the wallet will reflect up and affect the temperature reading that he's trying to get.
And just to be clear,
when he aims it at the wall itself, probably about the same temperature, so it's going to generate a higher average.
And for anyone that watches this in the future, what you're doing, you have to do accurately to get paid and eat, correct?
Yes.
It's like
so precision counts.
Like, yeah. So I'm willing to call it.
For a second, I thought you were talking to me because the answer to that question is no.
So I'm willing to take a little leap of faith here and call you qualified to make these assertions.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I'm actually I do HVAC work, but I'm also a certified building analyst.
Okay.
Building efficiency analyst.
Excellent.
And, that's the camera that I use, but that's just give you an idea of how sensitive it is. That's yeah, from like 1 pixel to the next on that, it can pick up a variation of 0.05 degrees Celsius.
So is it fair to say that the fellow would have been about as accurate an experiment if he'd used a divining rod instead?
Yeah, or if he had held his hand near it, just feel how hot it was.
Feels warm.
Okey-dokey. Yeah.
Very good.
Burn hot.
But here's an interesting thing. Now this was hard to get. These were during the eclipse. I've actually got a whole video on my YouTube channel. But I don't know if you can see where that spot was. This was a couple minutes after the total eclipse. After the moon was completely covered, and I was still able to get a thermal signature off of it, even going at a low angle where I was hitting a lot of atmosphere. And this camera is not even like really ideal for it because it's got a wide angle lens, but the 6-degree lens that I wanted for it, that I would love to have for it, is $6,800.
Oh my!
Woo!
Like I said
camera
before,
that I would really love for it that would be ideal for this is the camera itself is $29,000.
Oh, well, that's a little bit far away from the experiment that our guy was in.
Yes, he's stopping by Harbor Freight with a 20 is not going to do it.
The 1 week rental on the camera that I really wanted for it, because I checked into it, was the 1 week rental was $1,500. This is just before I lost it, but you can see you can just barely see it there, and there's a big city over there, so I'm getting some heat off of there. But even with the about 10 minutes after the full umbral shadow had covered the moon, I could still resolve a thermal image of it, even though it ain't there anymore.
Oh, everybody, Tim Cooney is going good night. Night, Tim. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Night, Tim.
All right.
Puns.
Yeah. So this one you can just barely see the moon a little bit on video. That's the thing about IR is I don't really care about all those lights for doing thermal imaging, but I wish I picked a darker location so you'd see the little bitty crescent of the moon there a little bit better.
Where's the location, by the way?
This is in North Richland Hills, Texas, in a parking lot, just a random parking lot.
Okay.
I had a location scouted up on a hill where I'd have a little bit more horizon, a little bit lower horizon, but I slept through my alarm and I woke up late, and I barely got there enough,
And it was
enough time to set up.
that was in the full totality, or
this was starting, I think around here we were full totality. We weren't maximal eclipse, where it was like in the middle of the thing, but the moon, the umbral shadow had completely covered it by this point. And so I've got a video on my YouTube channel that's just the raw footage of it, where that's starting at about the 47-minute mark is where the
yeah, because I think we were something like 90 some odd % here in Spokane, but you could really hardly even tell. But you just had the slightest darkening at that stage, even though it was.
Oh yeah, we had like in this. You see where the moon is like this. This is a good landscape landmark on the building. There, that was just the bare little crescent of it, and then the next one.
In case anyone's wondering, it's
not
over.
Barely right there.
It's not over.
It's gone.
Remember, Tim was going, and it says night tome. Anyway.
Ooh.
But that's just what I want to show, how ridiculous using this freaking laser thermometer is, and then anything that's got any that reflects light at all is going to throw it off.
This is a bad precedent. Actual science occurring on one of these shows.
Yeah, really. This is Hill would be proud.
About here, Hilly in that.
I tell you, it's going to be corrupting us with knowledge here. Pretty soon, we're actually going to be doing damned experiments for real.
Yeah, and
I was just going to get my chair out and do a lunar experiment. I got to get crap to do it properly now.
You're right. Okay, so we're going to balance this out. Sai, go ahead and share screen with me, and I'm going to show everybody about this thing I've been building in Minecraft this whole time. I'm not saying that it's a giant golden dong, but it is definitely a giant golden dong.
I see. All right. Well,
is that for the new sequel for Goldmember, the movie?
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny that I'm working on that.
All right. Well,
I'm totally not working on that. No one would ever trust me with that.
The man with a golden dong.
All right. Let us.
Sorry, I floated this with some actual science, but those cold moonlight things are just driving me crazy.
It was a sudden distraction of knowledge. It was really fascinating, Mark.
Apology accepted.
And when the weather warms up, I'm going to do a full series of debunk all the different little experiments they do. I'm going to debunk them all, because to me, all of their experiments, they're the just like the apparatus errors and the instrument errors. There's nothing controlled for. They're using the worst possible instruments in the worst way for them.
And you can use that as an excellent opportunity to show people the scientific method and how the real instruments work and how you can get real information out of it, plus making derisive fun of all the woo people.
Indeed, that's always and I do have to say, Mark, I certainly appreciate you sharing all of that with us.
Sorry if it harshed anybody from getting their drunk on.
Well, I tell you, that was a sudden exhilaration of interest after 2.5 hours of twaddle.
Oh yeah.
Twaddle.
Yeah, look, I crack jokes, but I mean, that was actually super enlightening, because I did not realize that the magic laser machine that he was beeping at with the was actually operated in a cone like that. I know.
Yeah, and he's got a video where he actually tries to use it to get the directly measure the temperature of the moon. And I look at it and it's just if you've seen the infinite facepalm gif, that's like me watching.
It's like trying to do sonar, clapping his hands.
Look at this. Like Guy Fawkes says, "See, we did run into Sunday science." So it would seem.
It says 007 in Golden Wang.
Indeed.
Golden Swinger.
Yeah.
All
right.
Launched a whole new cycle now.
Now we don't really need to see the rest of Mr. Thrive and Survive's twaddle, do we? I mean,
oh gosh, no. That would be putting a rancid cherry on top of an already tasty sundae.
Indeed, it's already pretty much.
No conclusion.
Yeah, and the entire method is pretty much blown away thanks to Mark's presentation. I don't really see any need to go back to that.
Ran out of memory on my thing when I was going to post this damn thing anyway.
Yeah,
next time I'm going to want to cover that.
Yeah, and it goes back to what.
And if you watch any of those raw footage videos that on my YouTube channel that I put up, those are the camera records at my $12,500 camera records 320 by 240 at 10 frames per second, and only has 2x zoom. That's how expensive thermography is.
So it seems.
You realize though that guy's experiment was several notches ahead of Jaron.
You know what? That's accurate.
Yeah,
he's not doing too bad for
Is
that.
that a sad thing to say?
All right, and with his
Jaron actually has a video on this that I haven't fully watched yet.
Do you really? We don't get any of this time back, right? If you actually watch the video.
No, don't look for
It's
Jaron's video on this.
irremediable.
Oh my God, that's the meanest thing I've ever heard anybody say ever. Because there have been a bunch of us in this hangout with you for this whole time, and you just now tell us that we don't get this time back.
Well, what do you expect? Like a second.
But if you do, please let us know.
Do you think like a second before you
Somebody
die?
pick up poor Halil.
Do you actually think an angel shows up and says, "All right, you're scheduled to die in 1 second, but we've got 45 hours of Jaronism videos you watched, so you get them back. You get that time back now."
Or it could come in.
It's like a
guy in
mail-in
his thing that
rebate.
says, "Oh, the memory's out."
All righty. Anyway. All right.
It's just me arguing with God. No, I have a coupon. I have a coupon.
Yeah, wait a minute. Side, just a quick recap here.
Okay.
You mean that we're watching all these videos of Ken Ham and Kent Hovind, and we don't get a get out of hell free card?
No.
I mean,
no. This is you are donating. You are donating chunks
Now
of
you've
your
ruined it.
life, of a finite life. You are donating chunks for the entertainment and hopefully somewhat education of people. That's what you're doing.
Well, thanks to Mark, there was actual education.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Way to bring the party down, Mark. Appreciate you.
After all that drinking, and suddenly there's science.
There was not.
It's like, oh no.
There was not a single pun in that entire presentation. I have no idea what you're doing with your life.
Suddenly, we were actually curious about actual science observation and techniques and that. Yeah.
You made me ask a question. I am not okay with that.
And
Jim, I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer.
Wait till Andy sees this. He's gonna be very unhappy he missed that part of the show. He would have found that very, very interesting. But anyway, yeah, there's no reason to go back to the rest of that crap.
Hey, cool. Yeah, let's go back to this guy's dark video and MS Paint presentation. Let's do that. Let's somehow follow up Mark's excellent presentation with this guy just coughing into a dime store microphone on MS Paint. That'd be great.
Maybe a couple seconds of the crayon generated graphic again.
Oh, look at what Guy Fawkes says in the comments. He says, "I strike, your time is well spent." That goes for all of you. Well, maybe not RJ, but the rest.
Oh, damn. Oh, snap.
All right. And oddly enough, Fino, yes, the experiments with ever increasing voltages has continued. The you'll see more Sunday Science, but just for the record, the big coil is putting out about 450 kilovolts at the moment, and it's running on low power. So yes, expect. What was the term from last Sunday? Yes, you guys wanted more zap zap. So shall it be. Anyway,
you got to be able to do it so you can do a proper Frankenstein monster rejuvenation thing. I mean, if it can't do a proper, or at least incinerate a Tesla.
Indeed, zap zap shall occur. Look at there is great pleasure in the comments that zap shall occur.
Did he get a longer screwdriver with more tape on it, like I suggested?
I hope so, but in any
I want to
case,
see a video of him discharging the capacitor with it, though.
Well, see, and we're switching it. See, the ones that the homemade capacitors. Fortunately, I mean, he made his with some, I forget what, it's some high density plastic, but efficient for use of capacitor. Me, I used I went to the dollar store and bought a bunch of 8.5 by 11 picture frames for $1 each and stacked them with foil tape in between. The good thing about those capacitors is they're leaky by themselves. Whereas a commercial capacitor will sit charged on a bench and blow your arm off after a month and a half. These, even if you don't discharge these homemade ones, they discharge on their own after about an hour. They're just not capable of holding it. They're great for the experiment, but see, and Andy has switched to we both bought from the same person on eBay some high voltage capacitors, commercial ones. So we're gonna have to be a lot more careful now than we were in the past. Anyway.
Yeah, electrocution or explosions are not a desirable phenomenon unless intended.
I mean, and actually, anytime I get a communication from Sean, he always prefaces it with something like, "If you're not unconscious on the floor from." But anyway, all right. Yeah, I see no reason to go back to the stupid we were watching before this. That was most informative and honestly damn cool, Mark. I certainly appreciate it. And I seeing that over here, it's about, I don't know, 3:40, coming up on 3:40 in the morning. I see no reason not to move on to Plug and Pug. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
All right.
3:40.
I suppose so.
It's 9:40 here, Si.
Oh, so we got to.
That's another night completely wasted.
Well, and keep in mind,
not completely wasted.
We have had requests to do a European edition because a lot of our friends in Europe, this is just they can't wake up at 5 in the morning and start drinking. It's just they'd be like us, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, most of us are just giving up a little, going to bed a little bit later.
Yes.
In Europe, it's a little bit rougher.
There are requests to do a movie night European edition, which that would start at about 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's something we might want to look forward to. Anyway, let's move on to Plug and Pug, shall we?
7 p.m. Eastern.
That's midnight for GMT, or Zulu time, as us hams call it. All right.
7 p.m. Eastern. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. No, Eastern. I'm getting my time zones all. It's late. It's late for me. I mean, really.
So you're better with this movie night then.
You're about what, 8 or 9 in the morning?
I don't.
Peter.
He says,
I don't sleep at the best of times, so I don't even care.
He says, "Hell no, you're killing me anyway." Well, Peter's like me. Sleep is for the dead.
Yeah.
There's plenty of time later for sleep.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Let us do the traditional Plug and Pug. We'll just do it in order of appearance on my screen. That is, Tornado. Who the hell are you? Why are you so cool? Tornado fell asleep. Uh-oh.
Tornado, wake up!
You forgot?
Oh my God! You killed Tornado. You bastards!
You
All right.
bastards.
All right. Cap, you're muted,
It's
but I
what
don't
he
care.
would have wanted.
It's what he would have wanted. Cap, you're muted, but I don't care. Tell us how cool you are, what you do, and your channel, and blah, 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 blah. Yep.
Specifically the blah, 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 blah.
Still muted. Hi, I'm Cap, and I'm cool. I have a channel. You all should come subscribe. There we go. Thank you, Cap. All right.
That was a very convincing accent there,
What?
Scott.
I did my best, but you bastards call and drink every 3 seconds. It was not easy. Anyway, RJ, tell us who you are, what you do, and how we can assist and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, well, I'm the arrogant bastard in Spokane that's creationism at the source level, and my Troubles in Paradise project that everyone can find at tortucan.wordpress.com, damn it. And I've written a kick butt book, 2 kick butt books. That's easy for me to say. Evolution Slam Dunk on the reptile mammal transition, which several people I believe in here have read and looked at and know is not a piece of crap.
Indeed. And spoiler, I'm throwing out a spoiler with Evolution Slam Dunk. This, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but God didn't do it. Okay, back to you, RJ.
No. No, and you will see, just for the amusement factor of seeing every major creationist crash and burn right in front of your eyeballs as I go through them on the reptile mammal transition. Nobody had ever written on this subject properly before, so I've done the book. You can't get this information anywhere else, and it's available on Amazon and all ebooks and all that kind of crap. And then I've also got a novel, The Paralogs of Phileas Fogg, and I've got a website that I've got to GoFundMe because I'm an impoverished Social Security guy that could use crowdfunding. Hint, hint. And I'll keep swinging as long as I can. Damn it!
There we go. And very good indeed. All right, Mark, tell us who you are, why you're so cool, and what you do.
No, I'm just a dumb redneck from Texas that does some sciencey kind of things. I'm gonna be. My channel isn't much of anything, but I'm going to be once I figure out how to use Movie Make or do something to format my videos and add stuff to them. I'll be doing some cold moonlight debunk stuff, and I'll do some more stuff on Moon IR. And I might even fire up my ping pong ball cannon and develop it a little bit more and start doing videos of me shooting ping pong balls through plywood and other various objects.
Oh my! This sounds like something to look. This sounds like something to look forward to. All right.
Yeah, for all those people that think a low mass object can't damage something that's much stronger. Yeah, they haven't ever seen what a supersonic ping pong ball will do to things.
Okay, I gotta see this. All right, might I recommend, if you want movie making software, the most fun I've had has been with VSDC. It's free stuff and it really kicks ass. Anyway, all right. Well, anybody that hasn't subbed to Mark better get on with it. Okay. Let's see. Next we have Eat Meal. Eat Meal. Who the hell are you and why are you so cool?
My name is Eat Meal. I am head of an FBI task force currently working to pin Mark to a series of high-profile murders in which a supersonic ping pong ball killed a foreign diplomat.
Damn it, that was quick.
Currently, we are very unsuccessful.
Golden Dong. You got to connect it all together.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, there's several pieces in play, but I just want to say that I am looking forward with. I am really hoping to see your YouTube video of how you are launching these ping pong balls. I'm not saying that it's the last piece of the puzzle. I'm just saying
Okay, then.
It's the thing.
It's indeed.
What I'm saying is that Mark has killed a bunch of people with ping pong balls. Okay.
Okay. See. We didn't. Okay, we didn't get that from your intro. We didn't get that, but thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, with just about 20 or 30 psi in a pressure chamber and the tube that's launching the ping pong ball in a deep vacuum, you can get some surprising velocity out of that ping pong ball shooting out the other end of it.
What I'm saying is that season 2 of Manhunt is going to be about Mark and finding the ping pong ball killer.
Yeah, the cycle rate's kind of low on it, though, you know, and carrying around the vacuum pump and the pressure cylinder. Yeah, it's kind of tough.
And Mark, I hope you're looking at the public
chat. It was
like
I was going to be a serial killer with a nail gun, but the damn air compressor came. So that was really inconvenient.
So have you tried beer pong with this apparatus, Mark? I'm just curious. Anyway,
no, listen, no, look.
To find out if I can shoot a hole in a beer keg with it.
Oh my, that would ruin a movie night.
Yeah, it would.
Science lives on.
No, let me go ahead and take my time because I'm a nobody. Yeah. But however, Tau Ceti Alpha does Flat Earther Full Retard. That's a great series.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Hillel, I assume does things
and stuff and things. Yes, he does.
And Desert File started debunking again. So get back out there.
Nice.
Resubscribe to Desert File.
Indeed. Excellent.
You take this anything.
And Mark, I was saying before, I hope you're looking at the public chat because you're getting accolades for your presentation. So
yeah, thanks guys. And the putting the thing on the moon would be that'd be pretty good. I don't think I can get it quite high enough velocity for that one though.
There's formulas for you though.
I need somebody else to do the math on it for that.
Hill's a big math fan. He loves math too. All right. If we didn't kill him, he could probably help. And that leaves my friend Gonna Go For It, who produced that fabulous intro video for movie night, by the way. Wasn't that great? That's all Peter's work. Tell us how cool you are, what you do. Gonna Go For It. You're up.
Yeah, next to toying around with some graphics, we have a channel on YouTube, same name, Gonna Go For It, and so you talked about not getting your time back. The amount of stupidity we watch here. Luckily, we had some real science on this as well, which is a nice segue to what we're doing later on today, because we're going to have some real hardcore science today. Today we'll have a Christian on who will explain. No, he did a study on how dinosaurs were actually the product of lizards on Earth who made it with the Nephilim.
No.
So if anyone wants to come and join us,
sounds like Joe Morrow.
Yeah, I have to reschedule a little bit. So a friend of mine is going live as well, and I do want to see that. But I hope he can make it an hour later because, well, dinosaurs are dead anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the actual science on dinosaurs, and then of course tomorrow I'll be emailing Aaron Ra to help him update his upcoming website on all the
I think the
all the dinosaurs, because
needs that.
Yeah, this will throw a wrench in the wheels with his entire project. So I need to inform him about the latest standings of science.
What you described,
so that's pretty much.
It sounds like Neffy.
So,
that sounds like Neffy.
I'm sure did get around, didn't they? Horny for dinosaurs. I never knew that.
Well, if it's with lizards, I mean, that long ago, when it allegedly, I mean, even with the young Earthers say, only a few thousand years ago, with the dinosaurs, and if they came from the Nephilim and lizards, okay, I shouldn't say this, but was duct tape even invented back then?
I don't know.
I think it was.
But I'm really looking for
in those days.
I'm really looking forward to this one, and I actually hope that my co-host Karis will join in, because last time that we talked to him, Molly co-hosted, and he ended up stripping for Molly. So I want to see what happens today if Karis would join.
C6, what an interesting character he sounds.
Yeah.
Yes, he's something.
I am looking forward to this show. Yeah, Eat. What do you got?
No, I was just curious. I mean, if a giant angel thing gets down with the iguana, boom, dinosaurs. What if he had picked like a butterfly or like a monkey?
Well,
or like a field mouse or something. Like, the possibilities of this claim are endless. I hope you realize I am not sleeping tonight because of this. I am going to lay on my couch all night long, wide open, thinking about all the different things that a Nephilim could have somehow got down with to create a giant race of monster fossils.
Actually, just a giant thing and a lizard. That's too much of an image for me anyway.
Kevin would have to come in with his the porn music that they puts in. I mean, this is a whole new line, of Nephilim porn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is this is a show I'm not going to miss, Peter. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, listen, I've got some things I can show you, but we can wait for the after show. It's fine. It'll help elucidate all of those questions.
I see.
We were afraid to ask.
Okay, and now James threw in the P word. Of course, everyone knows that I'm Dutch, so I have a tip for Mark Beiser. Before he starts doing his ping pong ball experiment, he should make a trip to Amsterdam. I was there. There's a bar in the red light district called the Banana Bar, and they do amazing things with ping pong balls. The female hosts do. So you could do your study there.
Too much information. Okay, is there a bar there that has any lizards involved? Lizards and angels? Anything of that sort?
No.
Okay.
Dude, you do not want to ask that question. Do not answer that
We're
question.
Dutch. We're not perverts. We're Dutch. We're not perverts.
They got standards, yeah.
Understand. I understand.
Yeah, and I can use
completely.
the thermal camera to spot the ones with fake tits.
All right.
There we go.
I can actually-
The Nephilim are the
Tell me that.
thermic or ectothermic?
All right. On that note, anybody have any closing comments? Oh, sounds like Peter does. Go ahead, Peter.
No. I just said I don't know. I'll have to wait because this is a scientist. I mean, he spent the last couple of years in prison, so who knows what he can come up with.
That's logical.
He did.
Yeah, you got.
I'm not lying. I never
expert ecdysiast. It's an interesting mix of traits.
Yeah, everyone who knows me knows that I'm not lying. So every statement I just made is 100% accurate and 100% true.
It is all true. That's what's so amazing.
All right. Okay. On that note, unless anybody has anything else, it is time to bring on the pug, shall we?
Bring on the pug.
All right.
Bring on the pug.
Very good. Good night, all. Y'all did a kick-ass job as usual, and thank you again to Mark.
And also Mark.
Oh no, everybody! But that was above and beyond bringing that material. I was very impressed.
Mark, you killed it. Appreciate you showing up. Everybody else, kill yourself.
The hell with you guys.
But you die in a fire, you die in a fire, you die in a fire.
You should have never been born, and you should have never been born. And Mark, you're cool, but you should have never been born.
Well, you got to admit, this is the most actual science we've wedged into one of these shows in quite a while, and the most puns.
Si, you did ruin it at the end because you weren't screen sharing, and you said bring on the pug, and then everyone started getting the pug off of the screen. So you need to pay a little bit more science in presenting.
Oh my!
What, dude? I'm seeing a bug. I'm watching the stream. Everything's looking good. Yeah.
No.
The Indiana pug at the Temple of Science.
All right.
I'm seeing little Buster Beans with his Indiana Jones hat.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Alrighty. Not bad, guys.
Seriously, you throw me the chew toy, and I'll throw you the idol.
Well, by the way, the non-existent International Space Station is currently past Argentina into the South Atlantic Ocean.
Aha!
Is it going from left to right or right to left?
That's not good.
Oh, it's over the ocean. It's not actually going into the ocean, but that would be
okay.
useful.
You need to be accurate. I'm awake for 24 hours.
Okay.
You need to be accurate.
The International Space Station is currently crashing into the ocean.
as an old routine, a comedian did. This is he did a parody of old Lowell Thomas things, and in the as an old mass of Betty Davis movies comes out in the mountain fastnesses of Tibet, and as the sun sinks into the valley, burning everything.
All right. We had quite a crowd tonight in the of viewers. That was actually very nice. All right. Good night, all. Thanks for coming. Hope you all had a good time.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.